Less than two crew squad. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Hope you have had a lovely start to your year. And hopefully the first weekend of the new year treats you well and finds you well. I am back once again. We are ready to kick off the weekend together. This is the Pat. I said in my going live tweet, this is the last Pat before the Traitors US starts next week. And you might think, yeah, okay, and little do people know, if you're new here, once Traitors begins, I fear it's going to consume a lot of our discussions, which is not a bad thing. It's just a reality. Like, by next week, we can never speculate on how Rob would do on the Traitors because he would have done the Traitors. You know what I mean? So, it's exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and do what we usually do here before I say hello to all the early chatters. I'm going to open up the form for all of you to put any questions you want to put in. And while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and say hello to the early chatters. How about that? Deal? Deal. Cool. All right. Jen, thank you for the 10 months. Welcome in. Lori, hello. Cupcakes are nice. Welcome in. Cupcake Sal's here. Kalita, what's good? Fuji in the building. We got AJ. Kellyanne says, yay, I kept professional with the pad yesterday evening. Only realized it was only Thursday. Happy Friday. I thought it was Sunday last night. It was weird. But, you know, we'll get sorted out by this weekend. Jinx, welcome in. Penny Paper, hello. English Ape Muffin, hope you are doing well. Lauren with the 59 months. Appreciate you, Lauren. Welcome back from another 59, one short of 60. Thanks so much for being here. Practically 5 years of supporting me, Lauren. I do appreciate it. Katie, welcome in. Happy New Year, Pad, to you. AZ, what's up? Kansas with the 57 months. Welcome in, Kansas. Devi, what's up? Little Miss Andre in the building. Daisy with the prime sub. I know you get one of these days, so I do appreciate you using it on me. Happy New Year to you as well. Welcome in. Thank you for the support for this past year. Edge, hello. Welcome in. Jenna Lee in the building. Soja here was good. I can't believe you didn't know the difference between ice skating and roller skating. Oh my God, that bothered me so much, like unconventionally so. I was just like, oh my God, is Liana like rage baiting me? But I think she genuinely didn't get what I got. Pad 26, that's right. Can of Biscuits, thank you for the tier 2. Welcome back for number 30. Appreciate it, Can of Biscuits. Welcome in. Sarah Lynn, new year, new me. Welcome. And what we will be talking about, exactly, Sam, exactly. Dying to discuss Red Claw and Traitors UK, and if y'all think it'll happen in US, I don't know. We'll see. Usually, at least some of the formatting sticks between one franchise and another. This is a pretty big new thing they've added in. So there's a world where they don't add it into US. If the US folks are like, nah, it's going to be a little too complicated for our audience, for all we know. But let's refrain from asking any Traitors UK questions, because as excited as I am to talk about Traitors UK, I really want to do two things. A, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who has not watched it yet. I will just use this moment to say, if you haven't, do yourself the favor, get on Traitors UK. 2 episodes have dropped so far. There'll be a third one tomorrow. It's worth the hype so far. It's been very fun so far, 2 episodes in. B, I don't want to give away any of my theories and thoughts before the podcast. I want to save them for the pod. You know what I mean? So yeah. Happy New Year, Beth. Welcome in. No background lights tonight. I fixed it. Wait, did that not turn on? One of them didn't turn on. Full disclosure, I had a big ass bug bite on my head that I needed to conceal. So Liana helped me out with that, and that's why there was a short delay. You know, Kellyanne, if you are in my Discord, you should have access to the episodes. The community watches them together. Ducky has been shelved. Ducky's been shelved because I was assembling this big ass desk last week. That's why Ducky's been shelved. Via Bella, thank you for the 24 months. Appreciate it. Thank you for supporting me for 2 entire years. Appreciate you. Welcome back in to the squad. Do you know what time the episodes drop? I don't know exactly what time they drop in the UK, but by like 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern, they're usually out, like available to watch. Cassicus, thank you for the prime sub. Appreciate it. Welcome back from month number 18. Other preview, give me Robin as Trader Angel Tiffany Alliance, please. Hope you didn't have the Sunday scares yesterday. Thankfully not, Lori. Traitors question, what's the plan for the Traitors watching? I think we have some people that can stream in the Discord, but want to coordinate if you are planning to watch stream EPs. I will not be, obviously, when I do watch parties in here, I will not be doing, I will not be streaming it on screen, right? So you can't watch the show through me because I cannot, that's piracy, right? I can't do that. But I can and could stream it into the Discord if people would like to make sure we are all synced up at the same time. Now, mind you, I have a couple of things. It'll be commercial free on my end. So there's no breaks in between. I believe, especially for week one, it's 3 episodes back to back to back. I think I'm gonna keep it rolling. So if people want to go do bathroom, they can do it quickly during like when they're doing the recap and stuff, because we will just hit play, move on, play, move on. So if y'all are fine with that, like if I'm the one in control of it, I'm cool with that. So that we're all on the same page. Because what I don't want to happen is that we start together and then half the people fall behind and then other people fall behind. Then someone's like, can you wait? And then it's a whole, like, then we're in like a bit of a mess. It'll be super easy after week one. It's just week one with 3 episodes is a little bit wonky. So I'm fine to do it for week one and then see how it goes. I think it'll be fine. I don't think on my end, I do not think any noises will be emitted or bothersome to the stream or to the discourse. I should be fine with that. So preview was flames. I watched it twice and kept freezing to analyze the outfits. I'm very pumped. Well, welcome in. Do you see what I was assuming was Traitors Peacock Twitter account replying to? It was the Traitors Peacock account. I did see that. You noticed, huh? Was good, Fennel. Yo, I need to vault that emote actually now that I've seen it. Happy New Year. I think I'm lurking at it. No worries, Jay. Trying to work up the energy to make Rice Krispie squares. But Jay, think about how good those will hit later, both tonight and later on if you have some later for leftover. Any new opinions after watching the sneak peek for the Traitors season 4? We'll definitely talk about it, mate, because I definitely have thoughts after watching the 4 minutes today. Yeah, UK Traitors started yesterday, and there's 2 episodes out already. A 3rd one drops tomorrow. Jay, thank you for the promise and welcome back from month number 41. Appreciate you. And Vinyl with the 61 months. Appreciate both of y'all. Thank you so much. And welcome back into the Lesson 2 crew. Welcome into the squad. Raid from the UK. Hey, from the watch party? Hell yeah. Bugs in winter? I don't listen. All I know is I sat down here and there was a big ass bug butt on my head. So, Mace says, is anyone applying to the Traitors? Anyone applying to the Traitors? Be honest, chat. Be honest. Your secret's safe with us, right, chat? No leaks. I've only watched this one. Don't know how I feel about the twist. I will talk about it at length on the pod with Annabelle. We're planning on recording tomorrow evening. Jake, hello, welcome, and happy New Year. Very excited to see what you get up to in 2026. I'm sure there are plans in motion. You're absolutely right. There are plans in motion. Hell yeah. I just dropped it on the Discord channel. I had a hot mic for your stream. Oops, had no idea my mic would be on. Oh, yeah, no worries. No, I mean, Kellyanne, honestly, don't feel nervous with any of the Discord stuff. It was new to all of us when we first joined in. There are people in the Discord now that know way more things than I do, and they joined like 2 years after I did. So it's a learning curve for sure, but everyone's also very welcoming and very happy to share their knowledge and answer your questions. Buckeye says I meant American episodes. I'm on 8. Wait, American episodes of what? What do you of what? How many episodes drop there will be? So week 1 will be 3 episodes. 1, 2, and 3 will drop on Thursday night. Week 2 will be 2 episodes, episode 5 and 6. And then after that, we're doing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 for like the next 4 or 5 weeks. So and will the podcast be dropping the days the episode air? Yeah, so immediately after, so for example, next week, I'm assuming the pod will go live at like midnight Eastern, is my assumption. Based on simply the fact that mathematically the episodes drop what around, are they usually around what, 8:30 Eastern? Or they're technically 9 Eastern. So midnight is when they would drop. The pod will happen. Please invite Will Friedle on one of your Traitors podcasts. A recap this year, he played Eric on Boy Meets World. Which one is that? Oh, he looks familiar. He believes he could win. Oh, interesting. What time are you watching? Well, like I said, I'm assuming like 8:30 or 8:45 launch. And it's hard because sometimes it drops at different times, so everyone trying to figure out a start time once it drops at 9 or at 9. So if we're all open to watching in Discord as an option, that works. Yeah, I will definitely, I think we're watching it in the Discord, for sure. For sure we'll do that. And like, I'm very open and down to do it. And make sure that everyone's like watching together, you know? How's Rob's, you mean my coverage? How's my coverage going to work, Sam? Well, it's going to be like regular. I'm going to be live right after the recaps. Podcast will be live. And then I will have a feedback show as well during the week. So we got stuff going. Yeah, sometime close to 9 probably makes them like maybe 8:45 at the latest. Senator Speak on Twitter knows you are you now a celebrity in his eyes. Season 5. I mean, I don't think so. Just because an intern replied to my tweet doesn't mean anything. I think if it drops earlier than 9, the plan is to give a 5-minute notification heads up then start. But if we can be on Pooya's timeline, we'll take his lead on start time. Sounds good. Sounds good to me, Mandy. Taryn's a best-selling author, technically a celebrity. Technically is correct. Is there a way to catch up in Discord? Do we have links in the Discord chat? If anyone's in the Discord right now, if we don't have links, let me know. I'll put a link in there for UK. No Red Wings, still no news on any of that. But at this point, I'm not like relying on it. If there's a lot of people that missed episode 2 that we just finished, I can restream episode 2 before I stream episode 3 if there's interest tomorrow. Yeah, or I can put a link in. Just let me know and we can make that happen. AZ with the 20 gifted. Holy shit. AZ! Appreciate it. Thank you so much, AZ. Thank you. Welcome in, y'all, to the less than 2 group compliments of AZ. Let me say a warm welcome to Chris Rad, Matt Ligori, John and Mish, Dingots, Pally, Mimi the Great, Mindy, Danny, Teresa, Mama Virus, Dolce, AJ Daniels, XO Wasted, Lemur Monkey Fin, Caniac Zach, Deverino, Athelia, Anthony Blaluk, Survivor Fan, and Katesy, who are now part of the Lesson 2 crew officially with the emotes, with the hoodie, and access to the Discord compliments of the one and only AZ. Thanks so much, AZ, for making that happen. Appreciate you. Wilfred is quite the nerd, so I think he would do well. He played D&D with Critical Role and was the voice of the Terry McGinnis for the Batman Beyond. Oh, very cool. I'll put on my list to make a Discord event for it, and we'll plan on you streaming the app. But if you need someone else to pop up the app stream, just let us know, and we might have some people that can. Sounds good, Mandy. Sounds good. For the purposes of if anyone wants to accompany me for the watch party, whether I stream it or not, just find out in advance if any volunteer streamers have the ad-free version, just so that we can figure out, like, you know, prioritize if someone has the ad-free version, we make sure that we go with them, just so that everyone's in sync. Not because like I have like some weird prejudice against ads. I mean, I don't love ads, but I don't think anybody does, whether or not someone has an ad-free version, you know? What is the Discording? Dolce, if you are subscribed to the stream, you should be able to link your Twitch account and your Discord and find the Discord to get in. You do not need to remain subscribed to stay in the Discord, but you do need to be subscribed to enter the Discord. It's just my way of making sure that there are no hate raids or issues. I actually had a streamer friend of mine recently remove their Discord link completely because they had hate raids happen. So this has been a precautionary measure for us the entire time. Oh, perfect, Jordan. Yeah. Ad blocks have not been working for me on Chrome, but they still work fine on my other browsers. So we're safe. Your mods are awesome. Thank you, Jinx. My mods are incredible. Mandy and Liv have literally made sure this place runs smoothly for the last 5 years. And like Lone has been also very helpful in the Discord and when he's around on stream as well. But like, I think I'm one of the few streamers who has the audience size we have and the tight mod group that I have. Like, I feel like I have less mods than most streamers do. And like, it's because I've never needed more. They're on top of everything always. Fennel says Mandy is wonderful. What about Liv, Fennel? What about Liv? Did Mandy get her $100 from Liv yet? That you have to ask Mandy. You have to ask Mandy. And we already have 5 questions in the form, so I love that. We're on pace. Big week for me, obviously, aside from the fact that we did speak briefly a couple nights ago for New Year's Eve. We also, me and Liana recorded the PAL last night. It was the first PAL of the year, so that went up today, so make sure you check that out if you haven't. And then we are very close to being done all of the preview pods. At this point, y'all would have at least listened to what? Half the cast, if not more. So if you have any questions about the preview pods, feel free to put those in here. Anything you want to talk about, chat, any questions you have, we can address them, we can answer them tonight. Also, I got a new desk. This is my brand new desk. It's L-shape, as you can tell. I have my laptop here because the desk shape, it's an L shape. I'm very happy with the desk. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been delightful. I'm terrified to touch it because I don't want to like make it dirty. But I'm very happy with the desk. L is for laptop. That's right. Ooh, see, this is a UK Traitors question, which I will save for the pod because again, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't checked it out yet, since it's only been like a day since it's out. Also because I don't want to give away my thoughts for the, I want to make sure, the pod's worth it. Dolce, thank you for the Prime. So I do appreciate using your Prime on me. Welcome into the Discord. Enjoy the emotes in the chat as well. Enjoy the ad-free experience and welcome in. 6 preview pods left, 17 down. There we go. Is it actually her birthday or is this an armed birthday again? It's always her birthday. Who is my favorite trader of all time? Seedall, thank you for that first time chat also. Favorite trader of all time. I have a few. Can I name a few? I'm going to name a few. Okay. How about I name you one from each country? Is that allowed? I'm going to just go ahead and do that. Favorite trader in the US is Suri. Favorite trader in Canada is Netta. Favorite trader in Australia is shoot, what was her name? Sorry, 2 seconds. Favorite trader in Australia, she was on season 1 and her name was Alex from Australia. Favorite in New Zealand was actually I'm gonna forget your name as well. That's disrespectful. No, there we go. I found it. Favorite in New Zealand was I want to say it was Bailey, but I need to double check. Bailey. And then favorite from UK is probably the hardest one, but I would probably say Harry, maybe Wilf, but Harry I think number 1, easy. So yeah, there you go. One thing about me, I'll never not celebrate Liv's birthday. Hell yeah. Coco was the best. Coco is a great shout also, Jinx. And Coco would have been close for the for the mantle. But like, it's Netta we're talking about here. Speaking of new furniture, what has been your most frustrating piece of furniture to put together? Honestly, if Liana wasn't there to help me with this one, I would have lost my fucking marbles doing this. This was a very tough and intricate desk to put together. But the two of us together, we got it done about an hour and a half, which I'm happy about. I'll never forget, I was putting together my IKEA bed in my freshman year. Well, right after my freshman year, I'd moved off campus and I'd bought a bed and I was assembling that bed. I was the only one home, or the only one that had moved into our new place. And that took me like a good 3-4 hours to put together. Now, mind you, I was also watching TV and also going out for smoke breaks and also fucking around. So like that took a little too long, but never had any issues building any other piece of furniture, thankfully. So, yeah. What would be your number one? Hey, first of all, J.W. Smith, thank you so much for the first time chat. What would be your number one creative strategy tip if you went on Traitors? So the advice I've given to people who have either applied for the Traitors or have been on the Traitors at this point, I have said a couple of things. I have said, watch the show, but understand what you're watching out for when you're watching the show. So what do I mean by that? So for example, if you want a good indicator of how to play a good Traitor game, watch Traitors Canada Season 2, watch Traitors US Season 1. If you are looking, and like these are because if you want to be put in, it's like case studies is the way I see it. So a good Traitor game, look at those seasons and follow the Traitors like mindset. See what they're doing, why they're doing it, how people are reacting to them. Study it that way. If you're looking to, play the game as a Traitor turned faithful, faithful turned traitor, watch this season. It's a good case study of that. If you want to play a good faithful game, watch this season and study those people that are good in that role. Basically, like if you're gonna watch them and study them, focus on everything those one or two characters are doing or people are speaking about them, and take that. And then also the other thing I would say is listen to Netta's deep dive. If you are looking for someone who did preparation on being a traitor, because my God, Netta, I think to this day will be the blueprint of how to prepare for a show like that. And then the other thing I would say is just be very willing to have a conversation with anybody, whether or not they're a traitor, whether or not they're a suspect, because the last thing you want is to alienate somebody who could hold your game in their hands or could also come at you sideways because you didn't speak to them. So you don't want smoke. Make sure you talk to people, befriend them. Because also, if you're befriending people, but you're not really speaking, people will let you get away with that at the round table if they feel good about you. Versus if you're not speaking to people and you're being quiet at the round table, they might yell at you. So, Ow. Okay. The good news is I hit my knee. The setup didn't move that much. Is the form pinned? The form is pinned, Sarah Lynn. Exclamation advice if you need access to it, though. Here. So those are kind of my early advices. Because honestly, besides that, you can't really do much more prep for the Traitors because it is a lot more luck based than other shows, but you can learn kind of the what not to do's more than what to do's, Because there's surefire ways of getting, like, losing. There's no surefire way of winning because even you can do the best things in the world and still lose. So just learn the things not to do at least so you avoid as many of those as possible. All right, will you be, sorry, I recently spent 4 hours assembling a kitchen buffet thing, which was with my best friend. To be honest, we didn't talk for a week after. Oh my God, Penny, were you like, don't ever ask me to do anything again type of energy? My husband hates assembling furniture. I like it. I like assembling. I hate disassembling. Like, I think one of the reasons I dread a move is because I never want to touch furniture. I'm like, it's done. I just use it. I don't want to move it, Like this desk, it still needs to get pushed to the back, and I haven't done that yet. Standout faithfuls from each franchise is going to be tough. So I'd have to think about that one because there's a lot more faithfuls than there are traitors. It's a fun season. Canada's Traitors 2 is still my favorite Canadian season. I'm really trying not to lose my marbles putting my bed frame together. My son kicked me out of my own room so he can do it himself. We're now on hour 4. Will you be surprised if some of the Traitors who are kind of sort of canceled get a good edit or become pals with Rob or other people you like? I mean, here's the thing, right? The edit part, the reality is we saw someone like Sandoval get a good edit, get a favorable, fun edit to the point where people were like, ironically standing him. So that doesn't surprise me if that happens again. A lot of TV shows do that kind of editing. So like that doesn't change for me. As far as your second question goes, at the end of the day, I'd like to think the people I associate myself know better than to associate themselves with people who are unsavory, so to speak. So I think we're going to be okay. Did I listen to Robin and Nicole on the Patreon? If I get dated June 13th, the day before Robin went to Scotland. I'm going to listen to the one after he came back. Perfect, Kelly Kate. Maddie Dubs, thank you for the prime. So welcome back from month number 30. Appreciate you. All right, sorry. Let me not get sidetracked here. I think it's so cool that you interviewed Kareem before Traders Canada. It's honestly incredible that I've gotten to talk to Kareem. Kareem sent me a lovely voice note after the season ended, and she actively listens to our podcast, which you have no idea both how surreal that is and how much that means to me. I have a nervous laugh, so I think it'll be terrible. Ooh. As long as they don't see it as a nervous laugh, you'll be okay, though. Happy New Year, Matty Dubs. Do you have podcast guests planned for the U.S.? Figure we might not be able to know. I've not finalized any guests quite yet, but I think we're getting to that time where I should talk to Sam and see what I can do for like feedback show number 1, you know? Karina's my favorite host. I set up the finale pod. Karina's become my favorite now. Alan, I didn't like. Not like I didn't like as in like I negatively thought of him. I just didn't like the way Alan hosted. Like the style he was using. It wasn't my favorite, but Alan has improved with every passing year and has become a staple to me. I still have Claudia as number 1 since she roots for the players so much. Claudia is still in my top 2. Tova, thank you for the prime sub. Welcome back from number 57. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, y'all stop putting troll questions in the form, please. Now that Trader is less than a week away, can you divulge any hints about who your co-hosts will be for the podcast? Any hints at all? No. At this point, I think it's a well-kept secret. And with such a lack of secrets out there in the world, and the amount of things I do hit you with the digital NDA on, and share, I do not think I would like to share this. I want to keep you getting surprised for what inevitably will be a very fun podcast this season. So just trust me, less than a week to go. You'll forget all about this. And before you know it, it's Thursday and you're going to see who I am potting with. Reality Alley, thank you for the 61 months. Appreciate you. Welcome back into the squad. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sometimes I wonder if Alan enjoys the host of Traitors because in a time veers into bid into MC of I don't know how to pronounce that. Into a bit MC of cabaretesque. Is there a world where we are getting bamboozled and Rob is a traitor? I feel like if we like it or not, we will get to CBS Traitors. We'll get 2 CBS Traitors. Final prediction is Rob, C, Tiffany, and Lisa. I think we're getting 1, if that. I don't think we're getting more than 1 this year. I really just don't see it with this cast. If Rob is a traitor, then I'm both very intrigued and very impressed because I genuinely feel like one of the 2 things I would have bet money on was A, Rob is not a traitor, and B, I think Donna Kelsey is a traitor. So if both those predictions are wrong for me, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. So, we should all try and guess. Yeah, my final guesses at this point are Donna, Johnny, Lisa, and maybe Tiffany. So Tiffany, Donna, Johnny, and Lisa. That's my 4. No, I don't think they'll start with. I'm still predicting 3. But they could do 4. And if they do 4, that's my 4. You know what I mean? Hi, I was watching the panel earlier and heard you were right you're watching Dexter. And you were right. The last season sucks. Well, I'm not on the last season, T1. I'm still on season 5. But 5 feels like a bit of a shift. I did end up watching more. I'm on episode 5, season 5, episode 5 now. And like, I'm getting through it. But I have noticed on the Paramount Plus page, there's 2 other Dexter shows. Spin-offs, I assume. One is Resurrection. What's the other one that happened, I think, a couple years ago? And I will be watching those for sure. Cabaret. Oh, yes, that makes sense, Gina. I'm about to make the crispy squares. Hey, hell yeah. If I say it this year, I have to. Accountability. Jade, accountability. You got this, says Melissa, and I co-sign. I think Alan has enjoyed being the host more as time has gone on. Yes, he's had interviews on late night talking about learning to treat it as an acting role, figure out the character. Yes, I agree, for sure. Do you think start with 4? No, I already answered that, so it worked fine. I think Johnny, Dorinda, Ian. Ooh, someone also asked earlier about how I think about Ian. I don't love Ian's odds, and I do not think Ian's in the turret. But I'm more worried about Ian now than I have been when the cast first got announced. Did I give up on the Dorinda of it all? No, I've always said that I think it's a housewife. And I initially had been saying Dorinda's name, and then I kind of ended up being like, oh, Dorinda or Lisa, Dorinda or Lisa. And then after we saw the preview this week, I'm like, nah, I think Lisa. Lisa literally gets the first confessional of the season, which to me is like interesting. Happy Pat Kenzie, welcome in. Better late than never. Appreciate you being here. I don't see them bringing Dorinda back and not making her a traitor this time. Well, that was my logic as well, Craig. But I think also the Traitors is a goofy ass place, and I feel like part of me could also see them being like, but wouldn't it be funny if Dorinda is still a faithful again, even though, and people will be like, would she be a traitor this time? She's like, no, I'm a faithful, and no one believes her. Like, I could see that. And like, you saw that hug between Dorinda and Lisa. Dorinda ain't dying first, guaranteed, if Lisa's in the turret. But also, it could very well be Dorinda. Do you think we're getting secret extra players? No, I don't think so. I think this is the cast we have. I don't think anything else. I wonder how Callan being a traitor will work into the meta. I think Donna is not suspicious, but I feel like after watching that season, they'll be watching out for who you least suspect. Exactly. I think basically what it's going to come down to is if anyone plays the I don't know what's going on card, they're going to be seen as suspicious for that reason, Mandy. So you can't really say those words. I feel like that's almost a death phrase to say. New blood. Gotcha. Okay, so new blood, then resurrection. Is it okay to talk about the sneak peek? Sneak peek is fair game, I think. Yeah. I think that's fair game. Because ultimately, we didn't see who got picked to be traitors. We didn't see anything. We saw some confessionals. We saw some reactions, and that was really it. Samantha, welcome in. Happy New Year to you. You went to college with Michael C. Hall? Oh, that's sick, Lori. That's so cool. You recommend skipping the other spinoff? Ugh, the problem is, I'm a completionist. I'm going to end up watching it. But I will watch it knowing that it's a bit of a thing to get through. Daisy, that's the season I just finished, season 4. Yes, you can go and watch the Severance 2 minisode. Exactly. Part of me really wants Dorinda to be first boot again. That'd be funny. Think you're spot on about producers being goofy and making Dorinda a faithful? I think they could just have a good laugh about it. When do the 90-day fiance recaps get uploaded? Aaron, that's one that's not been as consistent as I'd like it to be, but like you will get a new episode before Sunday, like before the new episode drops, basically, for this week. I didn't love the inclusion of 3 extra players with round of immunity last year. Neither did I. But I don't think it's going to happen this year because I feel like we would have heard whispers at this point. The UK twist, I'm not sure, Jill. I think that it might be like, you know, we've seen like the Seer come through from the UK. We've seen other twists get adapted. This is one where I'm like, this is a very big commitment. So there's a world where the US is like, no, y'all go ahead. We have other ideas. We're not going to do this one. Because it's going to be a lot. Because I think it's a big difference to what they've done before. So it comes down to whether or not they would like to do something like that. So I want to know our performer tree so I can very much understand him not going first. Yeah. I think New Blood is a tough watch, but as a new fan, I call back to in Resurrection, but I agree it's not a must watch. Gotcha. Preview had a lot of Johnny, Lisa, Rob, and Rob. It did. Rob Roush got a whole confessional in there. Our Rob got a bit of an ad lib in there. Rob has beef with so many houses that I'm hoping one of them is a traitor and takes him out early. I would love that. You've enjoyed my previews. Thank you, Rob with Tubies. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I've had a good time with the doing the previews. I've been loving the rollout. Today is obviously our hardest day, chat. Your biggest mission was today because we had the Colton and Michael Rappaport ones drop today back to back. So get through that and you'll be rewarded, because tomorrow we're going to talk about a more positive person in Jam, and we're going to have that. And yeah, the drops are coming. They're coming. They're almost done. We're almost done. Very close to being done here. US hasn't teased it, and the UK kind of teased in previews. Exactly. I think that was the biggest thing for me, Kellyanne, is I feel like it would have been brought up by now for the US. Because it's pretty huge. Do I know when the new seasons of Traitors New Zealand and Australia will air? I don't, C-Doll. All I have to go off of is series the past. And what I can tell you is we're looking at the spring. We're looking at somewhere between the April to not spring/summer. Like I would say anywhere from like April, May to like July is when I expect them to drop. That's my prediction. And unless any new news has come out, if I remember correctly, New Zealand and Australia I covered in the summer. So I'm assuming they come back in the summer. What's good, Fractal? I'm doing good. I'm feeling blessed. The new year so far has been, I mean, it's only been 2 days, but it's been a good 2 days. I did, like I said, me and Liana recorded the PAL last night. And we went to we put up a new setup. We're set up upstairs again on the chairs and not on the couch, which I think will be a difference for some people. I personally prefer it, but we'll see how it goes. And I mean, basically from today, my Traitors cycle has begun. I got a week break and I'm back, and now we're covering every Traitors season ever, starting with UK. We got the preview for US, so we're gonna have a lot. Rough day, but you Pelican do what I see. Don't you know it? Watching the UK Traitors season premiere reminded me how much I love UK's pacing. UK does it best. I mean, UK was the intro for me, right? So you kind of want Portia as a traitor. I've not heard many people say Portia as a guest, you know. Love we're calling him R Rob because that's exactly who he is. Hell yeah. Hardly any Natalie, Jam, Ian, Maura, Colton. But yeah, but y'all gotta remember, this was 4 minutes, and like of those 4 minutes, 2 of those minutes were cars and fireworks. They can't exactly put everyone else in there. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it comes down to. Like, I'm happy Rob got something, but if Rob didn't get anything in these 4 minutes, I wouldn't say that, oh, we're like, he's fucked or he's not going to be around. Because I think at the end of the day, there's 24 of them and there were 2 minutes of content to fill. I'm just happy we got Rob in this batch. You know? When is the Donna Kelsey preview dropping? Let me tell you. You know what, chat? I'm not going to reveal information. Y'all know this. I told you I'm not going to tell you who my co-host is for the Traitors Pods, who the guests are going to be for the Traitors Pods. What I will be willing to share with you is the remaining order of the podcasts that are coming your way. And they go as follows. Tomorrow, we got Jam. You already knew this one. I already told you this one. The day after that, Rob Roush. The day after that, Donna Kelsey. The day after that, Caroline Stanbury. The day after that, Natalie Anderson. And then it's premiere day. So. New news, you sound like the Kelseys. I don't know what that means, Kellyanne. Hey, Tomster. Appreciate that, Tomster. How you been? Welcome in. I'm doing good. New setup looks good. Thank you. Yeah, this desk is great. I tried to wobble earlier, last stream, but look, barely any wobbles. And like, honestly, it's like, it should be wobbling way more. And I'm like pushing. So if I accidentally bump it, the whole thing's not going to shift like the other desk, which is a huge victory in and of itself. I've been binging Trader seasons over the holidays. AU2 was the most wild experience. Wasn't it, Melissa? Wasn't it the most angry and fulfilling show in weird, vague ways? Very sorry for the trailers in your covers. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate it. I'm very pumped. I'm very, very pumped. The 4 minutes went by so quick to pre-scout that like I didn't realize it was done. And it like did the rewind and I was like, oh, I've already seen this. Oh, wait, it reset the video. So I really do hop into your streams when I can. Do I culture sells daily, and is that related? Maybe. Thanks for your content, man. You're doing the fuck. Thank you, Skyro. Appreciate it. Culture sells. I believe that makes you a person of science, which I would know because Liana has done stuff like this. So happy to keep you company while that's happening. Appreciate the stop by, Skyro. Feel free to come in there whenever. Robin's in the car with Donna, and since he's getting invited to the wedding, just off the car. I know the challenge was running with Dorinda, going to watch to see if that's the first challenge. Interesting, Kelly Kate. I'm a little late. What have I missed? Nothing really, Respawning. We haven't like revealed anything, if that's what you mean. Who's your co-host? Relax, Jez. No caps lock, please. I've only seen the preview that the RGB social account posted with Rob and Tiffany. There are more minutes to that, yes. Riz King with the first time chat, welcome in. Yeah, I feel like Rob has gotten some solid preseason content so far, getting increasingly better as we get closer. Inching ever so closely, yes. Yes, Rob has been getting more content, and I'm very fucking happy for him. I really am. Like, this is what we wanted, right? This is what you could hope for. And like, I'm very grateful that he's getting such a good opportunity, and I really hope he does well, and I hope he has a good time. I'm assuming he had a good time. And then we'll see what the future holds from there. I love the episode so far, but the one with Nick Idens might have been my favorite. Melissa, Nick is one of my go-tos. The minute we see the housewives, I'm like, Nick, what do you know? You know, like Nick knows his shit. So I'm happy that you enjoyed that. Thank you for the bits, Squid. Thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate it. Taking Thursday afternoon off so I can come home and nap and be over for the Traitors. Hell yeah. So chat, actually, let's talk about it. So I'm thinking I want to be live from 8 p.m. on Traitors night. So Thursday, I'll be live from 8 p.m. Eastern. That way we're together, we're ready, we're getting excited, we're pumped. I'll get all your predictions. And then the episode drops, we will get ready. We'll give a 5-minute warning that, hey, it's episode time. It's about to happen. Then boom, we start it. We kick it off. And we will be watching 3 hours worth of Traitors together. And then after that, the podcast will be going live. So, and then we'll be doing this system every week. Is that good? You cool with that? You need to hear the new news audio, Pooya. The Kelseys yell it, and it's a lot of fun. I should check. I mean, I will be checking out their pod once this premiere drops, because I have to imagine they're going to talk about it. If anybody talks the Traitors on any other podcast, and you would like for me to check out their takes on their thoughts during the season, let me know, and I will check them out, because I'm very curious what other people are going to have to say about Rob. I've seen a concerningly small amount of Natalie Anderson promo. I think it's tough with the Traitors because there are 24 people on a cast, 23 people on a cast, and not all of them are going to get the same amount of promo. Very select few people get promo and like content. I don't think, to me, that's any indicator that someone's going to do poorly or well. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I didn't remember Dylan Efron getting any content last season until he gets on, like until the show began, and the dude was like one of the main characters, you know? So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Are manifesting great things for us? Yes, we are. I connected my Discord to Twitch, but can't get your Discord link to work. Have you followed this? Oh, I fucked the command, I think. If you're still struggling after you follow those, Fractal, I can see if one of the mods can help hook it up. See if we can figure it out. Squid, thank you for the kind words and the 100 bits once again. I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When did the preview episode drop? It was the first one, Grace. It was right after the finale of Survivor 49. I think Rob and Tiffany go far. Both have featured heavy in preseason promo. I think there's a decent chance one is a starting trader and recruits the other. Interesting. Pooya, who will be podcasting with you about Traitors US? We'll find out. All will be revealed on Thursday, chat. You won't be getting early episodes this year. I will be getting early episodes. So that is a thing. But I intend on not watching them. I intend on not watching them because I want to watch with y'all. So yeah, Dem's the plans. I'd forgotten that he was applying. Wait, who was applying? Oh, okay. I forgot I was applying too. No, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't consider Colton Michael Ruiz the Friday dump, given that they're the most questionable of the characters on this cast. Let me keep it a stack with you, chat. Let me keep it 100% with you. So we needed to put 2 drops on one day to make it work for premiere day, like the road to premiere day, because we didn't have enough days left from when Survivor ended and Traitors began. So I thought it would make sense to put those 2 in one day and just we get through it together, and then the next day, good. And I put, and do you like the way I sorted this out? We put it in a nice sandwich where you get Tiffany Mitchell with the one and only Hannah Chada joining me, which I was actually, fun fact, the first one of these I recorded and one of my favorites of the entire series. And then we're going to talk about Jam Jam with Chappelle tomorrow, which you're never going to have anything but a fun time talking to Chappelle, and you're never going to have anything but a fun energy and feeling talking about Jam Jam. So win-win. $24 AU feels like it's too much. Hard to show everybody. It's just hard to give everyone edits, especially when your cast of 23 people is allegedly the stars of all the shows, you know? You have to pick and choose your battles. Gerard, what's up? Hello, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. A compliment sandwich. Yes. Hannah was excellent. 100%. Having Hannah talk about Tiffany felt very appropriate. It was. Yeah, Chappelle's tomorrow. Funny how, Jinx. Also, let me not forget that I have a form and over 10 questions in there. Did you get a care package from Peacock? Jason Asia received care package when they card the latest season of Maths. I did not get a care package. Peacock, where's my care package? Peacock, why? Besides Michael Rappaport, which preview pod was the most challenging to tackle? I mean, this might be what's it called? This might be a boring answer, but it's Colton, because these were the 2 people that I knew had checkered pasts. So low key, my initial thought was to not even do one for Rappaport. Like genuinely, I was like, I don't want to do this. But then when it came down to it, I was like, okay, if Mike's there with me, I think we can get through it. I'll be fine. Then, you know, we were fine. Will previews like this be possible for the civilian season or no? No, sadly no, because there's nothing to preview about people we don't know. And like with this cast, there's like hours of content for some of them, like minutes for some, hours for others. So there's a lot more to like look through, and like different people know about these franchises. So it's very fun to have someone like prep us on all of them. For civilian seasons, there's not much to know outside of like looking at their bio and be like, okay, so they're 23. They are a veterinary assistant and they enjoy the occasional game of Catan and IPAs. I was like, okay, well, I get nothing from that. I don't know this person. And like, they could end up being the next Dan Giesling for all you know, but like, because we don't know. So what does the pelican have in his little beak there? The dip is significant. Be creative, please. The pelican ate one of the ducks. I was thinking the 2-hour Rob one was tough for the marathon of it. I mean, I could say it was tough if I was like soloing it or like doing the hard carry there, but like I was getting carried by Mike Bloom and Eric Stein. So I was exactly where I wanted to be, you know? I don't know anything about him, but your preview affirmed that I don't need to look it up. The Colton one, I feel like we didn't talk enough about the stuff Colton did that was not cool. That was like very problematic, but if you Google it, you will see exactly what he's done. Same goes for Rappaport. It's not good. Wilfred Ryder Strong's podcast will be called Trading Places. Interesting. Rappaport has a checkered present is hilarious and very true. If Rappaport ends up a traitor and not murderly, I just cannot. If Rappaport's in the turret, I'm going to be very mad. I don't think it's going to happen though, but I'll be very mad. Do you think Sam Asghari's new resolution was to defeat you once and for all, Pooya? I don't think Sam Asghari has thought about me. I think we're safe. Hey, thank you, Sky. Appreciate it. But what if one of the people casted ends up being one of us? Then I will appreciate them and I will root for them, but I can't do a whole series of a preview just to cover one person, you know? Who was the last one I filmed? The last one I filmed was Natalie Anderson. Someone didn't want me to read this, said ignore this if you're not going to chat about it till the pod, and they asked me a question about Traitors UK twist and they had a good theory. I'm not mad at this theory. If it does happen, I would love that. You really seem to hate on Michael Rappaport from all your preview coverage. Do you think you might be eating your words like last year with Tom Sandoval? He seemed to get an okay reception in the preview clip. No, I think it's two very different things. I also didn't eat my words with Tom Sandoval. I think what I did last year was predict that Tom would just get booted immediately, which didn't happen. And if you'll notice, I have not predicted that Michael Rappaport's leaving anytime soon because you never know with these things. But Michael Rappaport is a heinous person and million times worse than Tom Sandoval, in my humble opinion. And like, honestly, I've been very fair and I've been very professional about it on pod. But as a personal, I do not like this person at all. And like, I don't predict that he's the first boot. I would love for it to be the case, but I don't think so. I think if anything, someone loud like that is like almost always guaranteed to make it far, just simply because everyone has the understanding of, well, he's going to get himself banished, so I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that. Skyro, happy to, provide you content whenever you need it. Man, have a good night. Take care. I'll be here later. Peace out. Yeah. The thing is, the redeeming qualities of Tom Sandoval was, hey, look at this dumbass trying to be like smart, and he's not smart. It's not like it was like, oh my God, Tom is like a sympathetic character. Thank you, Penny. Appreciate it. The number one question I'm getting in the forum is, do we think the twist from UK is going to be in the US? I'm leaning no, because we didn't hear even a little bit of a snippet about it for the US. And I feel like that would have been heavy in the promos, which hasn't been the case. I don't want to sound oblivious, but what is the best way to participate in the watch parties while streaming the episode? Maybe it's just my ADHD brain, but I'm not sure what is the best way to be invested in both at the same time on different devices screens. So a lot of people have engaged in these watch parties. First of all, never feel uncomfortable to ask a question like this. And you do not sound oblivious whatsoever. So the premise of a watch party is that think of it this way. We are both watching the same episode, right? You and I are watching the same show. The benefit of me being the streamer is that I am doing this with 100 of you, with 200 of you watching the episode together, you know? So with that being said, the best way to go about and do it is if you want to chat along, then I would say all you need is to chat on like a device like your phone or something. And then so long as you have the episode open, that's really all you need. So if I'm streaming the episode in the Discord and you're watching it through the Discord, if you have my stream open, it's mostly for the chat because I also will try and not speak over the show as much. It's basically us getting to watch it together, react together, have fun together, but it's no stress. I'm not going to talk over it too much. I'm not going to like insert myself too much in it. I'm not pausing the show, mind you. That's not going to happen. And then honestly, the first 2 weeks of this are going to be a little bit of a struggle with 3 episodes and 2. After that, it's going to be super chill. It's like 1 hour. I will have not watched it, so we're going to watch it together, then go live right. I'm going to go leave stream, go live right after. So we're going to have a lot more fun with it. I think week 1 is already going to be fun because the anticipation's there. So that's kind of the way. If that didn't answer your question, feel free to ask me any additional questions here. Let me scroll up real quick and see what you are saying, chat, in case I missed anything. What's wrong with Rappaport? The video has nothing to do with it. He has just a long history of saying and doing problematic things, Ichiami. With the UK and US Traitors Survivor being ever present, the way I knew that a new season of Drag Race was premiering today was Chat BCC announcing the creation of a channel for the new season. People like Plain Jane already acting messy. Damn, Rob. Get ready, chat, because there will be the same for the new season of the Traitors. We'll get the twist next year. It's possible. The Dive Round problem was Santa was nowhere near the same level as rapper. Santa can and be President Joe as a dummy you're laughing at. I mean, and that's mostly what he was, Melissa. And that's how I believe he's going to be in House of Villains too. Am I going to be live tweeting too? I'm going to be posting. I'm going to be doing stuff. I'm going to be active, of course. Yeah, there's no audio over the show. Like you're not gonna hear stuff from me. Audio like coming from my end. It's gonna be relatively quiet on my tab and a lot like, you know, obviously you're watching the show otherwise. And we're doing no commercials, so you're not gonna have like that guy said, there's not gonna be a lot of like inserting from me. What I do for Terrence, I have him on my phone and the show on the main screen. Sometimes I'll chat on the stream, but mostly I try to focus on stream. Exactly. I know it's covered in the preview, but Ron has a faint connection to Don Kelsey through, yes, Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity? And I mean, in the video we saw today, he recognized her and they spoke. So that's good. That's a good sign. I can't wait to see Tyson interact with Tom Sandoval. Tyson's going to make that man follow him everywhere. Watch. How do I find the links for the Traitors UK in the Discord? We have watch parties in the Discord factor. I don't believe there's currently links, but if you need links, I can provide them. In the Traitors tab. I can make that happen. Was your Hannah pod recorded before or after Mafia? Before. That happened before Mafia. Yeah, no worries, Fractal. Things would be great. I got you. Hey, Pooya, my work bestie recently informed me that he's leaving the company next week. He is at the position above me, which means I'm in line for a potential promotion. And he says he's going to bat for me to get the job. Hell yeah. I just don't know whether they're going to promote within or hire someone outside. Today at work, my boss didn't say anything about it. So I think the secret is being kept. What should I do? Just wait this out. Oh, what should I do? Question mark. Just wait this out. Question mark. Absolutely, just wait it out. I don't think there's any point asking, unless you think that you showing interest will make them consider you more, right? If you're like, hey, so like, I was wondering, I heard blah 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 is leaving, and like was wondering, I don't know if you're looking to promote internally or hire externally, but and then that's where you big yourself up. Like, I've been here for so many years. I'm this, that, whatever you have to say. You can go that way as well. So that's a possibility. Yeah. The Dupree's guy said, I think you should let him know you are interested in the job. Yeah. Because my passive ass would be like, I'm just not going to say anything, but it almost feels like you should throw your hat in the ring, but do it and without doing it in a way where it's like you seem like intense, right? It's just kind of like showing face with the person above you to be like, hey, I'm here, I'm ready. And like, if your work bestie has truly gone to bat for you, that means that they've already heard that, and they just, you showing an interest also helps. Because if someone is like, hey, you should bring this person on, they'd be good for the pod, but I don't hear from them, I've never heard them do a thing, or like, I don't know that they're interested, I might not want to do it. Like, for example, let me give you an example. There's been people that I've been told would be great for Goose Goose, but those people have never talked to me about wanting to play Goose Goose. So I'm in a position of like, would they want to play Goose Goose, or is this just this person saying they would want to do Goose Goose? You know what I mean? So you can apply to the position even if it opens up to the external candidates. Sometimes they have to interview external for HR reasons, says Grace. Okay. Weedy said, with the trader coverage, how is that going to affect your Friday night stream? Not at all, Weedy, because traders will be all Thursday. If I have any exit interviews, they'll be Friday during the day, and then I'll be back here Friday evening. So thankfully, nothing changes. The person who asked about this question, Jay said, I think it's worth inquiring about when, if position will be open for application, and giving yourself a brief boost in front of the hiring person. I mentioned in July that I felt I was worthy of a raise. With documentation to prove that I'd put in the work, I was told they would consider it, and heard nothing more for 5 months. And I ended up with an 8% raise, but I wouldn't if I had never put it out there. There you go. Yeah, I think something to remember also with businesses is that sometimes it's like, okay, out of sight, out of mind, never heard anything, let's not bother. It's the easier thing to do is not to bother. So keep that in mind also. You know who would be great on Traitors? Christian. Absolutely. Christian's on my list of people I want to see. Marshmallows take forever to melt. Thank you for keeping me entertained. I got you. We're not going anywhere. We still have 9 questions in the form and counting. Is your co-host for the Traitors US someone you spoke to for one of the cast assessment pods? What is this? The mole? I'm going to give you clues to the identity of the co-host? I'm not taking this bait. The fuck? But also, no. No, we cannot play 20 questions. Were you surprised at how high Hannah was on Ian? Not really. I feel like you got to remember, Ian is somebody who we saw play the game at the practically youngest age one can play Big Brother, right? Was he like 21 or something like that? He was a baby. And he got to play alongside some of the best players this game has ever seen. Some of the best personalities this game has ever seen in Dan, in Brittany. And we watched him prevail and win. The next time we saw him, we saw an older Ian, a more mature Ian. Didn't go well for him, but like that season is kind of like an asterisk. Just throw it in the bin, move on. So like, I understand why one would be high on Ian. I would have been fine with being high on Ian if this was a more gamer heavy cast. This is not a gamer heavy cast at all, which I don't think is good for him. So. He's the youngest B1 ever. Yeah, I believe so, yes. Circumstances on 22 definitely make people underrate Ian's potential here. Yes, I think so. I saw a 3-minute sneak peek of Traitors where your boss has the first confessional. That's true. My boss... Listen, y'all say my boss. That's my friend right there. That's my co-host. That's my colleague. That's Rob the colleague. Okay? He started off as my boss, but he's my colleague now. Still my boss, but also my colleague. Did this article change your mind on who the traitors are? Okay, this is fun. Y'all want to look through this article together? I think it'll be a fun time. I think this will be fun exercise for us to do here. If I go ahead. Ian is an easy murder. I would like to see him actually play. I think Ian is the one I see being the most likely to be a casualty of the gamers early. Which is not ideal. And also would love to be wrong, but that's kind of how I feel currently. All right. Oh yeah, I remember now. I moved this for the video we watched together the other night. All right, the good news is the zoom and crop here works just fine for this. This article might reveal who could win. What? No, it will not. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I feel like I would have heard and been told to stay away from it by now. This was a fun read. There we go. Love that. And mind you, I only skipped to see what Rob said. I didn't see anyone else's. Fuck off with the ads, man. There we go. All right. The Traitors Season 4 cast members make their pitches to be selected traitors. Okay, they make their pitches to be selected traitors. Okay. Also love the inclusion of Rob in the photo, front and center, in between potentially two traitors here. We'll see. All right. Who from the 23 contestant would you like to see receive that blindfold? So they pitched below. So I'm assuming this was a question that was asked to every single traitor, every single player, and they talked about their want or willingness to be a traitor. Okay. Candace Dillard Bassett, first person here to answer the question. I'm going to pause the music. Why do I want to be a traitor? Well, you know, being a faithful is cute, it's fun, it's righteous. But being a traitor is about treachery and dishonesty and being a bitch. If I can be a bitch with a smile, why would I deny myself the honor? That's a very fun way to answer that question. So already, love this answer from Candace. Let's move on. Caroline Stanbury. Here comes Caroline. I mean, I think I should be selected as a traitor because I am able to make difficult decisions, and I think a lot of people can't make those decisions. They're very run by their emotions. I think I am able to make decisions based on the immediate issues that we have and look at the long-term goal rather than get so emotionally involved. Ma'am, do you think you're being given the keys to a company? You think you're going to be the CEO of Fortune 500? The fuck are you talking about? The long-term goal rather than get so emotionally involved in saving your friends or your people or the people you know, because ultimately it's a game and we have to get to the end. It's purely business. Okay, so you're just saying that you would be a good... Oh, you can't read it until... Okay. I can fix that. That I can fix. Okay, maybe I was wrong on this. There we go. And then how about I make this fit to canvas? There we go. Okay. Caroline will be faithful for sure. For sure. I agree as well. Am I a wild fan? What is that? Well, how'd that come up? How did that come up? I don't know. Okay, you know what? I'm also making the executive decision. These ads are pissing me the fuck off. So you go here, and then how about we, again, fit to canvas? Ugh, I hate that, though. Stretch to canvas. Oh, I hate that even more. Ooh, fuck, I fucked it. How about I reset this shit? Reset. Crop. Reset. Transform. And then fit to canvas. And then fit to canvas. I hate that. Here. All right. There we go. Fuck it. Okay. Minnesota Wild. Would that come up somewhere? Or are we just talking generally because I'm in Minnesota? Yeah. Her whole thing is, hey, you're not going to want an emotional trader. Pick me. But I would argue emotional traders are what make the traders compelling. So It was an ad? Gotcha. Yeah. All right, let's keep moving. Colton. All right. Oh my God, I'm getting triggered. Maybe I reopen this in a Firefox tab. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Google has really shat the bed lately, in my humble opinion. Yeah, you know what I don't see here? A lot of nonsense. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's move back. And go ahead and do... There we go. There we go. Ain't that more chill, chat? Okay. Is an emotion trader redundant? You'll learn about Caroline. She is one of the last 3 people we're going to be previewing. So, okay, it's purely business. Now we get to Colton. Colton says, I feel like I would make a great trader, and I should be a trader because I feel like a lot of the Bachelor and Bachelorettes have played as Bro, I just said no ads. But I feel like a lot of the faithfuls bachelors and bachelors have played as faithfuls and if there was any bachelor to come in here and play as a trader, it should be me. Ooh, I feel like I can play the game in a really strong way and I would love the challenge. We're good. Let's not, you go on ahead. Human Revolutionist, Salam, brother. Let's go to Dubai. Hey, man, it's been a minute for me. I've not been to Dubai in near what now? 12 years now. Well, about be 12 years, almost. So, after you do preview of a player, does that make you root for them more? I'm more keen on them now, or like I'm more intrigued by them once I learn about them more, for sure. I said the RGB store has a faithful listener. Sure, it does. It does. All right. Donna Kelsey. Now, I've said Donna Kelsey is one of my biggest picks to be a trader here. Locked in. Let's see what Donna says in her plea. One of the reasons that I think I would be a good trader is because my whole life I've been this kind mother, motivating with good principles and values, and that's just the way I am. So maybe I would fly under the radar. But then again, I would love to be the sinister, lying shrew that would prey on people. Oh, that would just be so much fun. I would love that. So we'll see which one I turn out to be. You are going to give this woman the keys. For sure. For sure. Yeah, Dubai's a good time. Born and raised. Yeah. I like that answer from Donna. How do you not want Donna to be a trader here? So I do like that. All right, then we got Dorinda. Dorinda says, I would really like to be a trader this season. I'm just afraid it would be too obvious. It's going to be very odd for people to see me come back, and I hope there's no assumption that I'm going to be a trader. I would love to be a trader because it means I can't get hurt, but if I'm a faithful, then it might be less obvious to the people coming in. So I've got to think about that before I talk to Alan, but I would love to be a trader. Okay, so she's very scared to be a trader because she thinks it might be bait and they would go for her, but then I would say they're going to go for you anyway by that logic, right? So... Oh my God, there's more. How about, hey, Alan, Dorinda Medley, I'm back, believe it or not. And I think this time I need to be a trader. I cannot be murdered the first go. I have to make it to one round table at least. So I think I can be a trader because I know how to make people believe I'm such a faithful, because in life, I'm such a faithful that no one will expect that Dorinda Medley, the kindest, most generous person who's always helping others, that wants to be a team player, could possibly wear the cloak and be a trader. I'm sorry, Dorinda, but didn't we argue that your banishment last year was very stupid because you were going to get banished because people thought you were a traitor? Didn't that happen? Wasn't that a situation? So who is out here being like, nah, Dorinda Medley, the kindest, most generous person, is not a traitor? I feel like they already thought you were a traitor. She just convinced me she needs to be a faithful. Exactly. Eric Nam, someone I'm very excited to meet this season. I think I should be selected as a trader because my bet is most of these people have no idea who I am. And that can work in my incredible favor where I can be very under the radar, at least in the beginning, get a good read on everybody, and then play their strengths and weaknesses to the best of my ability. I also don't think that I look physically threatening in any way, and I think there's something called instinct that people have, and hopefully that would play into my favor as well. Also, I think I would have fun, and who knows, maybe those are some solid reasons. Who knows? This is... okay. I like Eric Nam a lot, and I think this was a very fun answer from Eric. I'm very keen to meet Eric. I think he's going to be a lot of fun, chat. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very, very intrigued by him, and he's one of the ones I'm most excited to meet based off now having learned from him during the previews this season. Now we got Ian Terry. Let's see what Ian has said. Ian Terry comes in and says, why should I be selected as a traitor? Because I have the perfect cover. People don't see me as a gamer. People don't see me as a gamer. People don't see me as a gamer. Huh? Huh? Who are people? Are the people in the room with us right now? I think, love Ian, but Ian gives the most gamer of any of the CBS gamers. Okay. People don't see me as a gamer, but I am one of the top 250 backgammon players in the world. So I definitely have a strategic mindset, so people underestimate me. They don't think I have it in me to do it. It's the perfect cover. This is a great answer from Ian if this is his first time being on television. And even then, I would say that they're going to assume you are a smart person immediately. Wow. I am floored. That might be the biggest blindside of these yet. Johnny Weir is next. Yeah, Ian beat Dan, the Big Brother's crown jewel. And he looks smart. This is a dapper man. This is an intelligent man. What are we talking about here? Anyway, Johnny Weir is here. Johnny Weir says, this is my pitch to be a traitor. I smell good and I've got a heart of gold and I love a soft fabric. So pick me as a traitor. Y'all, there's nothing else. That's it. It's a line and a half. I'm not going to lie. Not mad at it. I am not mad at it. Keeping it simple, keeping it funny, tongue in cheek. I smell good. I've got a heart of gold. I love fabric. Make me a traitor. Give me the cloak. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Also, I loved in the preview that we saw him mention that yes, me and Tara know each other. No, we are not going to tell anybody. We're going to plan and play this from a distance as much as we can. Not that they're not going to tell anybody. They're just going to play a part. They're not going to try and be together. So you'd love to see Ian experience another fight while he's in a towel. Oh my God. Ian is not ranked high as a winner by the fan base, but he's not ranked too low, is he? Like, yeah, he's not going to pretend he doesn't know her. He's going to like try and avoid her, which I think is not a bad idea. I can see Johnny going after your friend Rob C for some reason. How dare you put that in the world? All right, we got Kristen Kish, another person I'm very excited to see play this season. Yeah, Eric Nam knows them and knows they're very good with each other, but I wonder how they're going to play it off. I'm intrigued. Kristen Kish, but what if I don't want to be selected as a traitor? I would like to be selected as a traitor somewhere in the middle. In terms of preparation and being ready for a job, I need to get my feet wet. I need to see who I'm dealing with, and I need to see my surroundings. I need to see what this whole game looks like, and then I think I could take on the traitor role and start to lie because I figured out how to lie. Okay, this to me is kind of like the answer I would give, which is I would rather see what my cast is like, learn, meet, mingle, lock in, and then if I can get the spot later on, I will take it, but I don't want it out the gate because I need to assimilate. So Love this answer. And she said, listen, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying no right now. And I think that's fair. Lisa Rinna is here. Lisa Rinna says, well, I just think I would be a great trader because I'm Lisa fucking Rinna. Yo, hold on. If our traders do end up being Lisa Rinna and Johnny Weir and they gave a combined 2.5 lines of answer, that's fucking hilarious to me. But that's it. She said, I'm Lisa fucking Rinna. Give me the keys. See, that to me exudes main character. And I think that is good because either you are the main character or you're the person who's being a little dumb and thinks they're the main character, but you're the dodo. And that's still fun anyway. So I agree she's going to be a fun, wild character without the role, Melissa. But I think that my logic is still a housewife will be a traitor. It's just a matter of who. And Lisa screams the most to me after Dorinda. Before Dorinda. Sorry, after. No, then Dorinda. So first her. So Sam, I've not wanted to talk about the twist because I don't want to give anything away for the pod. We're recording that tomorrow. I am very intrigued by the twist. I think I love it, but I think there's also things that we need to work on it with. But we'll talk about it all tomorrow with Annabelle. No worries. It's going to be fun. And I do not think it's going to be on the US season, is my prediction currently. Okay. I think we're going to take tips from these for traders audition tapes. I mean, take notes, chat. Take notes. Mark Ballas is here. I shouldn't. Look, I think being picked as a trader is very like big fish out of water for me. I'm not a good liar. I don't feel like I'm a deceptive person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I try to have great communication with my friends and family. I don't like people to be hurt, or I'm very sensitive to people's feelings, but I'm also aware that this is a game. So obviously I would love to play this game as a faithful, and hopefully that will happen. If I'm recruited, I will have to put my trader panties on and get with it. I don't believe they give you panties with the trader cloak. I don't think they say, all right, here's the underwear and bath set for the traders. You don't get a care package, but I respect an honest person. Mark said, listen, I'm empathetic, I'm a horrible liar, and I don't want to hurt people. So, okay, Mark says I'm not a traitor, and I respect that. Because some of these people will say I should be a traitor, and I said, come on, we all know you shouldn't be a traitor. So, all right. I've told myself to him being this year's Wells. If by that, Melissa, you mean good potential for the game, I agree. If by that you mean first boot, I'm sad. Maura Higgins is here. I want to be a trader because I love true crime and I want to dive into that serial killer girl. I'm sold. Maura should be a trader 100%. If there were 4 traders and none of them were CBS, Maura should be one of them. I just think I would have way more fun. I don't know. I just want to be up to mischief and I want to murder people. It sounds mean, but I do. And I'm wearing a cape. Look, I look like a good trader. She already looks the part. 100% she looks the part. She is my top pick to be a trader if I got to pick them, hand pick them. My predictions have been, Donna Kelsey, Johnny, Lisa. If I could pick the traders, I would pick Donna, I would pick Maura, and we'll get to the other 2. We'll pick 2 more after we see these, okay? Michael Rappaport. It's fine. We can do this. I should be a trader because I lead with a smile. I come off dumb, but I know exactly what the fuck is going on. You do not have any idea what the fuck is going on. I've seen your tweets. You have no fucking idea what's going on. And Homeboy said, I lead with a smile. Is the smile in the room with us? What is that? Is that a smile? Monet Exchange is here. Why should I be selected as a trader? Because I'm going to go into that turret. I'm going to foster community and family amongst the traders. I think that's what we're missing in the traders. Smart. Sometimes they just get too cutthroat. I'm like, ladies, and by ladies, I mean the gentlemen too. Ladies, all of us here in the turret, we can make it to get to the end together if we play together. But of course, when we get to that final, they're all going home because I'm going to be the sole trader. Put Monet Exchange in there. Monet is my 3rd pick to be in the turret. I think the only worry I have for Monet in a turret situation is already going to be a thing that I'm worried for Monet is that people are going to be like, Bob the Drag Queen was a trader last year. Maybe Monet's a trader this year. And like, that's going to be bullshit. But Outside of that meta, I see no reason why you wouldn't put money exchange in there. Because again, once you want to think of the meta thing, it all goes out the window. If they're going to think someone's a trader for X reason, you might as well make them a trader if you wanted to make them a trader, because that doesn't mean anything. Natalie Anderson is here. I want to be a trader because not only do I feel like I would be really, really good at being a trader, but there's something about being on the hunt and going after people that just drives me. Well, that's more of a faithful thing, I think. I think that being a trader just because you want to be a trader doesn't mean you're going to be a good trader, but I feel like I have it in me to be out for blood from day one and work with people to really follow through and win it. The faithfuls have won twice in a row, and I think it's time the traders take back that win, and I think I'm the person who can do that. You're going in with a win mentality, and I truly believe Natalie has the chops to do it. Natalie is on the bubble for me as one of my fourth trader pick, on the bubble for me. But I do love that Natalie's like, hey, I've been keeping tabs. The faithful won twice. Fuck all that. We don't want that. So, Weedy, from your lips to God's ears, because I don't know why we're doing one. Good, put two. Put two in there. Portia Williams is next. Oh, I want to be a trader, but I'm also scared to be a trader. But I think I would be good because I don't think people would truly suspect me. I think people have me stereotyped one way, and so they don't think I could play the other side of lying and hiding something from them. They think, oh, she's an open book. She's been on reality TV for 10 years, and she's an open book, and we know all the telltale signs. I think that neutralizes when everyone else has been on reality TV. When in reality, I think I'd be good at hiding it. So her pitch is, hey, I could hide it, which is not the best, but that's fine. Is she wearing a hoodie? We've talked about this this outfit. It's hooded. I don't know if it's a hoodie. All right, next is Rob. Look at him. Now that's a smile. Okay, Rappaport, take notes. I would be a great trader because I've got the perfect cover story of coming in and wanting to play the most faithful game anyone has ever seen. And what a twist it would be if behind that I was actually a trader. If Rob fooled the audience, and by the audience, I mean us. And by us, I mean the people who know him and that podcast, the 5 for 5, where he said he left not wanting to be a trader, that would be floored. But I think Rob just gave an answer because you're meant to give an answer. I don't think Rob wants to be a trader. I think we're fine. Rob Roush in the building. Because for Rob, by the way, I see him very similar to Kristen Kish. If you give Rob the opportunity to get the lay of the land, meet the people, do all that stuff, then get recruited, I love that for him. He'll do fine. But I don't think he should be a starting trader for his own longevity in the game. Rob Roush in the building. I want to be a trader because it just seems more fun. I'm clever when I need to be. I can always get myself out of a sticky conversation. I always win Monopoly, always. Well, this ain't fucking Monopoly, first of all, and you can't steal from the bank in the traders. I say this because I also win Monopoly, but Monopoly requires patience, stubbornness, and the occasional dip into the bank when no one's looking. But yeah, Rob Roush is also a faithful. We can move on. There's not much else going on here. Next, Ron Funches. Really excited for Ron Funches. I'm sorry. Ron is going to be nothing but a faithful, but a great faithful at that. Oh, I want to be a trader because no one suspects the butterfly. I'm a beautiful, sweet butterfly of a human being, just pretty and elegant, but also I could attack you somehow. I don't know how butterflies attack, but I imagine I could affect your allergies or do something, so that's why you should pick me. If there wasn't a faithful, you're looking at him. That is our faithful right there. That is our happy faithful. No one wants to hurt Ron. When Ron gets murdered, everyone's going to be in shambles in that castle. Stephen Coletti is next. I want to be a faithful. That is the least surprising answer of all 20 that we've looked at right now, quite frankly. Big Stephen Coletti, the person we talked about being the follower in our previews, would like to be a faithful. Let's see why. I do not want to spend the entire game deceiving everyone, lying to everyone. I'm not a good liar, so I think I'm best served as a faithful. I want to be a faithful. I'm here to be a faithful, and the faithfuls will win this game. A little too much into being a faithful. Like, obviously, Mark Ballas said the same thing just about, but like, Stephen Coletti's like, it feels like he's going to act like if you're not a faithful, you are garbage and scum of the earth, which I'm not about. So for that reason, I don't like that. Okay? I don't love that. But we move on. Tara Lipinski. She says, don't pick me to be a traitor. I really want to be a faithful. And that is why I've said Johnny is going to be the traitor if one of them is going to be a traitor. I feel like my background as an athlete, being part of a team, part of Team USA, representing your country, I feel like I have the tools in my toolbox to succeed in that area. And I also feel like it goes against everything that I am to be a traitor and start lying to people. We want the faithfuls to win, so I want to be on the winning team. And people had the audacity of telling me they think Tara is going to be the traitor. Tiffany Mitchell. I should be selected as a traitor because no one is rooting for Tiffany Monique Mitchell to come here to be faithful. I've been faithful already. You know what? She has been the most faithful of the faithfuls ever. So I agree. I've been faithful already. I'm here to be a traitor because in my real life, I dibble and dabble in blood. I run a phlebotomy business, but here I want to be covered in it. I want it all over my hands. I came to murder, to kill, to seek, and to destroy. And besides, who else from Big Brother would you have in here murdering people, being a traitor? You wouldn't be disappointed in me. You would be disappointing your fan base. This is a traitor confirmed. Tiffany Mitchell is a traitor confirmed. You do not give this answer and then not give her the traitor opportunity. You do not give her traitor. You do not give her this. She doesn't give this answer and then doesn't get to be a traitor. I'm sorry. That's just not how that goes. That is not how that goes. So yeah, put Tiffany in there. I'm actually willing to, after reading that, lock in that Tiffany will be a traitor alongside Donna Kelsey. I think so. I think Tiffany is a traitor. I think Tiffany's a traitor. There's just no two ways about it. And then Jam Jam, I believe, is the final one here. Alan, listen, you need to pick me as a traitor because everything about me is meant to be a traitor. Everything is like the little, perfect, strategic, energetic, lovable little package for it to be released like Pandora's box into this castle. If you make me a traitor, I'll give you everything you wish for. Like a genie. I love Jam Jam. I don't think Jam Jam's going to be a traitor. I don't. So... No. Dorinda walked out of the vehicles immediately. Dorinda walked out of the vehicles in the preview, so she is absolutely there already. All right. Oh, sorry, my back hurts, so I want to stand up a little bit. Oh, you know what? We got you. No worries. Yeah, that was fun. My picks, my final four picks, my Pooya's personal wish list picks. My wish list picks are Tiffany, Donna, Monet Exchange, and Maura Higgins. That's my 4 wish list picks. And then my realistic picks are Tiffany, Donna, Lisa, and Johnny. Starting with an odd number still feels odd, doesn't it? Not really. Not for the traders, because it doesn't really matter all that much. Because remember, we've also had like weeks where, oh, someone got the shield, so no one got murdered last night. So it's not really like cyclical like that. And they always fix stuff like that with like, okay, and we're immediately banishing someone else at this round table, no one speak. So it really evens itself out as far as like numerical things go. All right. Stephen Collette is the most forgettable player in the preseason. I agree. Why is my camera tilting? Are you tilting? Well, that's not. Okay, this is weird. This is straightened right now, but then the background looks all slanted. But as long as I look fine to you, then we're fine. That's fine. All right, 9 more questions in the forum still. If you ask someone what's up and they say we're talking about cars, how do you respond? Are you buying or just talking about speed, like video games? Like what? Be more specific with the cars. That's what I would say, honestly. There were rumors about Nene Leakes being on the cast, but I think they said Porsche replaced her. Maybe they were both supposed to be there. It's possible. I mean, I would agree. As far as casting goes, you would assume they would want to have an even number. 24 just makes more sense. My assumption is probably someone backed out or something. But also, I feel like they usually have alternates on the wing, so why didn't they just get an alternate in there? I don't know. Or maybe they had 22 and they really wanted the 23rd. So they're like, fuck it, let's just bring one more person in. I don't know. I need you to ask chat about cars. I don't really care about cars is the problem. I'm like the last person to talk cars. We're doing research. What do you need to? You ask the chat. What do you want to? I'll read it out loud. What do you want to ask the chat? I have no idea how to conduct an interview about cars. Any chance you think there's a surprise player? I don't. I just feel like, and if there is, I'll be happy because that means they kept the secret well. But I just feel like historically, someone always finds out there's something else happening. So just do the question to have chat answer. I already did. If you ask someone what's up and they say we're talking about cars, how do you respond? Is the question. 100% would have leaked by now. That's what I'm saying. Interesting in the decision to not discuss Colton stalking his ex Cassie. She had a restraining order and he harassed her. I wish y'all talked about it. So I am not the expert when I come on when these podcasts happen, chat. I don't know who comes in and is going to speak on things. I don't know about Colton, right? So I know about stuff after the fact, but before it, I'm coming in blind. So I leave it to them to speak on it. On the pod, Haley was like, I'm not going to speak on this. If you want, look it up. And I said, all right. And we moved on. I was like, the only other thing I could do is be like, no. Tell us everything. So like, that's not on me. And if I'm more familiar with these things, I'll bring stuff up. Like you'll see me having more questions and points during the ones I'm familiar with. But otherwise, it's in the hands of the guest. It's not in the hands of me. I feel like they forced the surprise guest thing too much last year. Loved all the surprise guests, though, just not how they went about it. 3 people was overkill and 3 men was overkill. I think they needed to do, if they were going to do it, maybe 1 or 2. But I also have said this, I don't love the late entries into the Traitors. I just don't think it's worth it. You shouldn't have been in the Chasm first. That's fair. Nice hoodie. Thank you so much, Weedy. Just showing a few minutes ago. Do you think the US will follow the UK format exactly as the past seasons have? I don't think so. As of right now, I don't think so, based on what we've seen from UK so far. I think it's too big of a twist for them to not have even teased it if they were going to do it. I'm appreciative of both, to be clear, both Haley and Mike for taking people who are not easy to talk about. I do appreciate. Have you seen Sage's claims about how 49 Ponderosa was terrible about breaking the rules? Who do you think was the worst one? She's going to release the names tomorrow, apparently. Also, apparently she barely talks to anyone from 49, so drama. I have seen the drama. I don't know who she's talking about. I don't even know what that implies. What does pre-gaming mean at Ponderosa? Because we heard 2 people got removed from the cast for that. But apparently there was more of them. I don't know. If we're saying pre-gaming is, oh, and they nodded to each other and they smiled and laughed, then I don't think that's pre-gaming. But I don't know what the full extent is going to be, so we'll see. But yeah, it sounds like Sage is going to say who, but we'll find out when we do. Trees are done and cooling? Hell yeah. That's awesome. My hands are over, I'm stirring. Been wanting to make them for over a week. Thank you for keeping me accountable. Appreciate it, Jade. Happy to help. Do you think they would bring the seer twist a lot earlier than they did last season? I don't think they're bringing back the seer twist. But if they were to do it, I would hope they do it earlier. It felt a bit sexist last year it felt a bit sexist last year, like they didn't take any women seriously enough to make one of them one of the secret legends. Oh, right. Like as part of the reveals. Well, it was 2 people, and then the person that well, no, I guess to be fair, Boston Rob got added in. They were like, swap someone out with Boston Rob, and everyone was like, nope. And then they were like, tough, he's going to be here anyway in like 3 days. I'll buy a Pooya Watch the Mole hoodie from you if you watch all 5. I do not have a Pooya Watch the Mole hoodie for you to buy anywhere, Archie fan. They said in the week leading up to the start, there were a few people talking, loads when they were supposed to be silent or something. But like then they would have just been removed, is what I'm thinking, right? Yellow Sophie was the third pre-gamer. Didn't I see somewhere that someone claimed that wasn't the case now? I don't fucking know. Andy Coop's drunk and giggling during New Year's Eve coverage makes me miss the whole OG mole even more. So with the Traitors, it'll be the first time you were interviewing them? No, I've done exit interviews for Traitors before, for both US and Canada. Pre-gaming is BB All-Stars, right? I don't know. 3 men with immunity, I think at the start was tough. Yeah, exactly. I miss watching you and Leon on Blood on the Clock Tower. Any plans to return soon? Is there Blood on the Clock Tower happening tomorrow? Would be my question. The problem is, Chad, and maybe, you know, part of me is like, was a little trolly with this, but y'all, Dwight doesn't reply to me. Dwight doesn't reply to me, and I don't think I got invited to the last couple of Blood on the Clock Towers either. But like, ultimately, I wouldn't have gone anyway, so it's fine. But like, low key, Dwight just needs to reply to me. You know what he hasn't done? Reply to whether or not he's going to do Goose Goose this week. Right now, I'm in the middle of figuring out my Goose Goose plans. Also, by the way, just 1, 2, 3, 4, pi 5, and then 6, and then 7. I think 8, and then I'm 9. So yeah, we're getting somewhere with the with the roster. So I intend on doing Goose Goose to kick off the new year on Sunday. But he's not replying to me, chat. What am I supposed to do when he doesn't reply to me? Why don't you have a Pooya watch the mole hoodie? Because I don't intend on lying on my merch. It'll be interesting when Ropsy gets eliminated. The interview will be interesting. I agree. It'll be very interesting. I think I saw a screenshot from Stacey saying Yellow Sophie wasn't the third gamer, but almost very far out of it. I've not been paying attention closely. I've been seeing a lot of people speaking on it elsewhere, if that makes sense. Also, who earlier, sorry, let me scroll up because I feel like I read a comment and I forgot to respond to it. It was someone being very complimentary of the coverage. Oh, it was Gru. Thank you, Gru. Says, just finished your Tiffany preview pod. Hannah is such a gem. I hope she gets that dance to the mark. Thanks for all the preseason coverage. Thank you so much, Gru. I do appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the coverage. I remember reading your message and I was like, I don't recall speaking on it. So we're back. All right. When the stars of the season of Traitors, it will be the first time you'll be giving exit interviews. What do you mean, Weedy? I'm not sure what you mean. Well, you need to write another diss track? Honestly, if he stops replying. So when I get bored of Among Us, if I got bored, I would not do it. That's the key of doing it once a week also. Like, we talked about this, I think, on the last Goose Goose Duck stream we did. But we used to play Among Us 7 hours a session, like 3-4 times a week. We now play a 2 to 3 hour session once a week. It keeps it fresh. And it's more so like we all get to hang out and have fun and laugh, so. Call him. Lojo Buddy was a fun part of your clips. He was. If I call him, he's going to air me. You know what? I'm going to call him. Worst thing he can do is what? Not answer me? It's fine. We'll live, I guess.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Dwight?
What?
How you doing?
Great, you?
Good. Are you okay? Everything good? Are you healthy?
I hope so. Yeah, doing great.
What do you mean you hope so?
I hope I'm healthy.
Okay.
Haven't checked.
Yeah. How was your New Year's? Did you get into anything fun?
No, I just went home to see family. Got back last night.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I just I wanted to call you I was about to go to bed, so I just want to say goodnight before I head to bed,
Okay. Good night.
Yeah. Sweet dreams, man. Take care.
Okay. Good night.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
He's so fucking suspicious. He sounded like he was up to no good. He sounded like he was like, can he see me? Like, does he have, like, it's like he was shit talking me and I called him, you know? Asking about Goose Goose. You're right. I did the gambit and I forgot.
Hello again.
Yo, yeah, sorry. I was about to. I turned the lights off and I realized I need to ask you one more thing before I head to bed. Are you good for Goose Goose Sunday?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Sounds good. Also, my New Year went really well. Thanks for asking.
I'm glad.
Yeah. What are you eating?
I'm not eating anything right now.
Okay. Cool. All right, man. Have a good night. Take care.
Okay, good night. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, we got another person from Goose Goose. Fucking rat bastard, this guy. All right. If he comes in, chat. If he comes in and says something, we have to pretend that we didn't call him. We'll gaslight him. Now, I'm not going to call him again. Let's leave him alone now. So I didn't tell him he's on stream. Usually I would. I just completely A, forgot, and B, he knows I'm streaming. That's why he, especially when I said I'm going to go to bed, when I say goodnight, he knows. Like, we don't talk on the phone like that. So he knows. Yeah. All right, let me see what else we've been saying here. What's the lore with the mole in this chat? It's been brought up so much. Are you anti the mole? I don't like the mole. I've said this. It's okay as a show, but there's people in the chat that have been trying to make me watch the mole for many years, and I've just not been into it. I thought I read it for stage. I'm waiting for it to be big enough that Mike Bloom covers it. Otherwise, I'm good. That's a good way to look at it, honestly. I have enough drama IRL to not add Survivor drama to it. I love drama IRL when I'm not involved. I like being a passenger when it's going down. This may just be me, but I love a 20 to 40 minute podcast. Gru, you know what's wild is that there used to be a time where I thought a good podcast had to be 90 minutes at minimum. And then there was a time where I was like, a podcast has to be 90 minutes at length, like at maximum. And then I got to a place where I was like, you know what? An hour 15 will be chill. Now, and I think this is where I'm going to stay permanently, is that an hour is the perfect length for any podcast. No podcast needs to really be more than an hour. Hour and a half absolute maximum. The 20 to 40 minute bite sizes are there for a purpose. The reason is I don't think we need to drag on talking about each cast member for like an hour or 45 minutes even, unless there's content there. And also, I want these to be bite-sized and I want these to be consumable by anybody. And people some people might not have the time for that, but they'll have time for 20 minutes to check in and learn about a cast member. So I feel like it was the best way to make sure people listen to as many of these as possible versus like being like, listen, I have like 3 hours only, so I'm going to pick the Rob one and then I'll pick this one's like 15 minutes. I'll take that one. I wanted it to be a lot more like available, you know? Oh, most of you didn't appear on Rob's podcast. Yeah, well, I mean, that's true for any season. I hope I get as many of these as I can as interviews. I've recently gotten welcomed to the community that runs Goose Goose Duck, and it's so fun. It's a good place respawning. It's a good time to be. Like Howard and Raj with the phone. If he doesn't answer you, it's not like he's not already not responding to you. Right? I mean, the worst case is like he's still ignoring me. Yeah, which he did answer. Kudos. He let it ring one too many times for my liking. I feel like he could have, you know. I'm going to catch up with you now, chat. Sounded like you were calling about selecting for the draft. Hey, man, you good? You healthy? Love you guys on Peak. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Honestly, watching the clips back from Peak this past weekend, or sorry, the New Year's Eve stream, we need to go back at some point. He said, I don't like the only person to ever say this, and my heart broke a little more today. Listen, if I'm not honest with you, what's the point? Do you want me to lie to your faces, chat? Do you want me to tell you I enjoy something when I don't? You don't want that. No one wants that. I like to listen at 2x, so prefer 2-hour podcast. That's also fair. I listen to podcasts at like 1.5, personally. I really enjoy the podcast for the people I know nothing about, like the House and Top Chef. Love that. That's exactly what I'm hoping for with these. When do your recaps of Traitors UK drop? Just stop watching the premiere to drop in. Hey, Leslie, first of all, welcome in. Second, currently, myself and Annabelle are scheduled to record tomorrow night, 10:30 my time, so 11:30 Eastern. And once we're done recording, I'm going to send the files over to the team, make sure it's nicely situated and ready, and I'm going to tell them to drop them immediately. That way they'll be out on Sunday. That's the hope. How does someone win a draft with a show like this regarding the draft? Depends on the draft rules you're putting. If your draft rules are whoever's at the end and wins the money is a winner, then that's one way. You can do a confessional draft where you keep tally of how many confessionals someone has. You can have if you wanted to, you can do like a point system where it's like, okay, if they get a shield, it's 1 point. If they correctly vote, that's another point. If they get a vote against them, that's -1. So stuff like that. It depends how like into it you want to be. I'm usually more of a supporter of a winner takes all draft, meaning if they are a winner, you are a winner. It's been very fun to do those. I do a draft for Traitors only with Matt and Scally over on the free agent pod every year. And the rule is simple. If you have a winner, you have won. So what happened is last season, myself, Matt, and Scally each had a winner in the final four, but I had 2 winners in the final four. So technically I was the winningest. So I won. So that's kind of the way we go about it. And I think that's the way you should go about it. It also depends how many people you're drafting with. Because if you're drafting with like 6 people and 3 of you win, that's fine. Talk all the shit you want after that, you know? You won. I think he's doing a recap after the full week episodes drop after all the week's eps. Wait. Oh, for UK? Yeah, it'll be 1 episode a week covering that week's 2-3 episodes. For trade recap this year, could we take out the bias for Rob R? Because boy, is he great TV with great one-liners for no reason. I don't have a bias against Rob R. K's. My thing with, I've been one of the people who says, I think he's a great pick to be on the show. You'll hear it more on the Rob Roush pod that comes up, the recap that comes up, the preview. But I think that he wasn't top of my list of people to come in from Love Island from that season, but I think he's charismatic and can be a bit of a menace. So I'm not mad at his inclusion. The thing for me also is like, I do not do this coverage where I am going to critique players all the same. So for example, if you are a player that I expect to be more strategic, I will be like, why didn't they think of this? But then I wouldn't take that same lens and apply it to Rob Roush. Be like, why didn't Rob Roush think of this very specific strategic thing that I, would never expect him to do anyway? So at least that's what I hope I come across as. I hope it doesn't come across like I'm just dunking on these people. Are exit interviews reserved for the banished or murdered or just whoever's willing? It always is whoever gives us availability. If someone does not give availability, then there's nothing we can do about it. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is. They have to be willing to do it, and they have to be willing to give us their time. And then if they give us their time, we will take their time and we will do it, So if I go faster than 1.25, I can't retain anything unless I'm just listening, not doing anything else. For me, it depends on the podcasters. Some podcasters I can listen to 2x, no problem. Some on 1.5x, no problem. Some 1.2 is too much. But for the most part, 1.5 has worked for me. Granted, I think in the last couple of months, I've not listened to anything 1.5x. It's always been 1x. So maybe things are different now. I prefer you to lie to me about the mole, except you can tell me the truth when you say you'll watch all the seasons. Okay, relax. Who did I have? In what regard, Gru? Who did I have? What happens if you have more than one person? Oh, I had, ironically enough, I had, I had Dylan and somebody, I may have had Lord Ivar, actually, funnily enough. Did I? I don't remember. What happens if you have more than one person on your draft team? Then again, it's kind of like having more than one person is a tiebreaker. I'm saying in general because he's so polarizing. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that, for me, and especially I think this has become true the more and more I've consumed reality TV, the more and more I've covered reality TV. I think there is I know the difference between problematic behavior, problematic past, problematic saying, and then just like douchebag I don't like. And I think Rob Roush for me is douchebag I don't like. And I say I don't mean I don't like him. I just feel like I know what he is. He's a bit of a douche, and I see that. But I think you need douchebags on shows. You need people like this on shows. What you don't need is people who are problematic, period. Right? Like, I don't want to see that. I don't care that it's good casting. I'm not going to enjoy it, but that's also personal. Some people might be like, I need people I want to root against. And if they're problematic, I can be like, go fuck themselves, whatever. I personally don't want that because I'm like, you're platforming somebody that could convert someone to be like, you know what? This person, I don't know what all the fuss was about. They're kind of funny. They kind of said some fun things. Maybe I'll see what they're up to. And then you're, essentially opening the door for them to get more leeway with people who they have no business getting to. So that's why, like, for me, it's different. Like, I think, like, when we look at the Big Brother cast, right, when we preview them, I know there's people I don't like, but unless you've given me a reason to see you as a negative person overall, I'm like, all right, let's see what you got. I'll root against you. I might not root for you, but that's fine. But if then it comes out that you have like a checkered past or you did some negative shit or like you've said some like heinous stuff, then it's like, yeah, I don't care if you end up becoming the most redeeming person. I have a hard time, rooting. I'm not going to be rooting for you. And I don't want that behavior rewarded. So. Some YouTube channels that does Traitors draft, that it's hard to tell who won the draft. I mean, again, it all comes, I think the easiest one is just a winner takes all. And if there's multiple winners, the tiebreak is who had more players than one. If you got two, then you won. Or if everyone had one, then those three win. It's fine. Because at the end of the day, drafts are meant to just be for fun anyway. It's not like you're going to put money on it. I would always say this also. Never willingly do a draft on... Okay, so like I know some people have done office pools where like they're like, okay, we each put 20 in and we ended up with a survivor. And I think if it's randomly assigned to you, then that's fine. But any show that's scripted, not scripted, that's shot in advance, I would never want to do a draft for money. Unless I'm in a group of people that I'm like, okay, none of these people look like they're gonna cheat to get this. But in the back of my head, I'll always be like, someone's gonna try and get this money by like looking it up. And like that's never fun. Not every show also has leaks and spoilers out there for it, mind you. I just don't trust it. I'm like, one person could know something that other people don't, His comment to the Mara during the preview doesn't give me high hopes for him, but I enjoyed him on Love Island. He did, that interaction felt awkward. And I was like, this is a lifeline for you. Why aren't you taking it? But maybe it's just his humor. I don't know. It must be hard for every cast member to keep what happened a secret for almost a year. Oh, for sure. I have to imagine. I'd be struggling so hard to not tell people. Happy to reveal, although I don't think it's really ever revealed. We ask for all exit interviews. No idea how things will work this year. Yeah. I mean, we always have said we want the interviews. If we can get them, they give them to us. If we cannot get them, we don't get them. How often does someone that was banished or murdered say no to an interview? I mean, look at how many interviews we have done and how many we haven't done. It's not even that they'll say no, they just don't have the availability for it. So yeah, I don't do an RHAP draft typically for the Traitors. I don't like doing drafts for the Traitors, to be honest, because I do not think the Traitors is a game that is the best for drafting purposes. And I don't think there is a lot you can go off of. I feel like you can read a bio for Survivor or Big Brother and get a decent idea of how this player is going to be. Outside of one season, I have had a person in the final two every year of the Big Brother draft since I've joined. 23, 24, 25, 27. I've had a player in the final two. And I don't think that's an accident. And I mean, think of the people I left every year saying this is the person I think could do the best. 23, I had Xavier very high. I drafted him. He was the winner. 24, before night one of feeds, I would have put everything out and picked Taylor. I even tweeted that after the stream. I said, if you're picking your draft isn't Taylor round one, what the fuck are you doing? And then we saw night one of feeds and it looked bad for Taylor, so we avoided it. I still avoided it and picked Monty, who ended up being second place. 25, I picked Jag, who, yes, some people will argue technically shouldn't have won, got eliminated, but he won. Okay, so let's deal with it. Who was the rest of my team that year? Blue Kim, and who the fuck was my third pick in 25? I don't remember. I'm trying to think if I'm going to be mad that I didn't remember now. I don't know. But then 26 kind of I didn't do well, I'll admit. I had Leah, Matt Hardiman, and Quinn. That didn't go well for me. And then 27, I had Ashley high. I said Ashley on paper should be a number one pick for a lot of people. I had Morgan as my main pick I wanted, who I didn't get because goddamn Sock Amon picked Morgan for Amon. But I got Vince. I was last pick and I got Vince, which was a steal in the draft. Ends up being second place. So, well, at Heisem, to this day, I think Heisem leaving made no sense in that spot, and Heisem should have still been in the house. But whatever, it's fine. It's cool. But no, that being said, I think that you can get and gather a lot of information about who can do well and stuff for a draft for these things. I do not think it's the same for the Traitors. I think the format just doesn't lend itself to a fun draft. And also the other part on it, if I'm being very transparent with you, is that I don't think it's fun podcasting if we conduct a draft for the Traitors on our network, and then most podcasters are going to just pick the Survivor Big Brother people because they know them, and then we're getting to the later rounds and it's like, I don't know this person, I'll just pick them because they look like they might know what they're talking about. I don't think it's as fun because there's not as much to talk about. Because I think it's also hard to ask people to do full research on 23 people who have hours and hours of content. That, and plus, like, I don't want to like pick who's gonna be in the draft. It's a whole thing. It's a lot, you know. So, all right. I love when you dunk on Ivar. What's funny, Gru, is I think I've basically stolen Rob's shtick. Now it's Rob's thing also. Oh, sorry, that was my thing also, and it was Rob's thing. Did I see Sam Asghari spread in Playgirl magazine? Yes. Well, yes. Other Rob casting, to be honest, he could be a sleeper fave. Honestly, Deez, I think he's going to be a fun character to watch play. I do. I get it, but also just reality TV in general is super polarizing, especially for guys nowadays, more than ever, it feels like. It depends how people see it. Is it hard to draft with people you know or people you don't know, like Survivor and Big Brother? The thing is, if I know somebody, I'm still going to probably pick him for the support. Like, I'm 99% sure I picked Rob. Like, I put myself first in the draft for season 4, and I picked Rob immediately. I'm like 99% sure that's what happened, or I made that up in my head, but that's what I would have done. I would have picked Asia first if I had the pick in 47. I would have picked Baby Andy was my second pick that season. If I couldn't have had Asia. If we had done a draft for Canada, there's no way I'm not picking Kevin, Omer, Venus. So I will always pick my people who I know who are friends of mine in those spots because I want to support them. I want to root for them, and they're on my team, so I can root for them a lot easier. But it does change who I'm drafting, even if I don't think they're the best chance to win, you know? I won over $200 on a BB27 draft, and I've never felt more accomplished in my life. See, Big Brother money, that's good money. I drew a draft with my wife for Survivor where the winner chooses the dinner date location. I love that end hero. It's kind of money based, yeah. Well, it's like if you're like you and you're like, I want Nobu, but it's like you're a couple, so like, you know, there's, even if you have separate separate money, it's still kind of like my money, your money, my money, because we're sharing a life together. But I get it. I won my friend group draft for 49. I kind of felt bad about it because I'm way more plugged in and went Savannah based on No Michelle on 50, which it's tough to not then do that, you know? Like, what are you going to do? Recuse yourself from the draft? But also, it's not like we knew who was the winner. It was just a good educated guess to make based on the fact that someone's going to be on a legend season, and they just played. So I'm sad we never got a Venus interview. I'm more sad than you, I guarantee you. We put asks in for all the interviews. Even when we got the finale, we put in ask for more interviews, and we got one, and then it got canceled, and then we just didn't have one. So it is what it is. Do people online ever try to spoil Traitors for you? I know that's been a problem for some Survivor creators. Thankfully, no. I'm very glad that I do not get spoiled on the shows that I cover. And I, for the most part, do not mute hashtags for the shows I'm covering. I will mute stuff if I start seeing people talk about, man, I woke up and I got spoiled on blank. And I'm like, shit, okay, let me go mute the hashtag real quick. But for the most part, it's been fine for me. All right. I feel like I'm a little bit behind, but I'm catching up with you, Chad. It's no worries. Chippo Ketchup says, sorry, I'm late to the party, but do you plan to do an interview with Coco and Venus? So I just mentioned, yeah. Sadly, I think our interview opportunities are over. But the ask was put out there. I think if I can, I would love to get them on for recaps next year, or potentially, I wouldn't be mad at getting one or two of them for feedback shows this year. That could be very fun. It's about going out early. Heisem is an iconic team member. Yes. Amon Orji had someone else submitted as his first round pick. I don't remember who, but it was literally like 5-10 minutes before the draft saying he wanted to swap to Morgan. Oh, that's fucking irritating. I didn't know that. Do you guys talk about if you do a draft for whatever reaction we cover? What do you mean, Weedy? I wish we got short podcasts at the end of seasons to recap and discuss how the draft went. I feel like that is a very fun thing, and I wish we did more stuff like that, where we did like a draft check-in, because we did a draft check-in once upon a time for one season, and I like that. I feel like people want to hear the thoughts, and like, not all of us cover Survivor, right? Like, Taryn doesn't do the, what was it called? Was it called the Survivor Stock Watch? Taryn doesn't do that podcast anymore. I don't talk Survivor weekly. Asia doesn't talk Survivor weekly on pods. Liana does B&B. Chappelle does Slop. Shannon does Global. But bring us all together and see what... Let people talk shit to each other and then talk about how they feel about the show. Because I think it'll be very fun to do. I really do. I also wanted to talk to Annabelle, and I think we can still make it happen. We're thinking of doing a year-in review of the Traitors from this past year. And I think that would be a very fun podcast to do. But I love stuff like that. I like your reactions whenever someone takes your draft pick. There's not many draft picks that are going to make me fuming, but if they're Persian and you pick them, I'm going to be sad. Kevin and Coco are friends now. When will we be watching Coco season on Discord? The Quebec Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother. I don't know if we have access to those. Yeah, I mean... Savannah and Rizzo were the first two picks in the RHAP draft for the same reason of like, well, I know they're going to be on 50, so I know they're not the grenade, and I assume they do like decently enough and go far enough. Why wouldn't I pick them? That's why I was happy that, like, so personally, now you have a little bit more insight. So I won the 48 draft, meaning I should have been able to set the draft order, right? I opted to set the draft order for 50 because for me, the choice was easy. If I do not set the draft order for 50 and you make me set the draft order for 49, what's stopping me from giving myself the first pick for 49 and then picking one of Savannah and Rizzo, which, spoiler alert, if you see who I picked on the 50 draft without knowing anything about them, I would have picked Savannah and I would have won the draft again. And then that's boring because then I would have won 3 times. No one else has won. And also everyone's going to accuse me of being spoiled or rigged or bullshit. And that's just going to ruin my day. So I opted to do 50 because I had a specific thing I wanted to happen. A couple of specific things I wanted to happen. And so I set the order for 50 and then 49 was a random wheel, which was perfect because at the end of the day, we all kind of knew who was going to go pick one, who was going to go pick 2. Or we didn't know which order, but we knew which 2 were going in the first 2. So it being in the wheel's hands, I think was the perfect way and solution for that. How long have I been in Rob as a podcast? This November marks 10 years. As a podcaster. As a patron, it's been over 10 years now. I spoiled it on the new UK trip, but just episode 1 before I watched it. That's fair, because people were tweeting a lot about it. Seems you do a draft for almost every reality show you cover. Oh, like People the Survivor? Thankfully, I'm very grateful that I'm involved in both drafts, because I love drafting. When I did my first shows showing on RHAP, I was doing a thing called So You Think You Can Podcast, and one of my questions to my fellow panelists was, what are your bucket list items for podcasting? Mine is to be in a draft. And then sure enough, I've been in drafts, and I'm on drafts for Big Brother and Survivor, and I'm very grateful to be, and I have a good time with it. I just get spoiled on challenge and Love is Blind ahead of time. I've fully muted the challenge for years now for that reason, Jill. Do a draft update when the first person gets eliminated from the draft. Ooh, like when someone gets their team wiped out, Grace, is what you're saying? You can watch Quebec Big Brother on Crave. Good to know. Where do you stand on including pics of the booted on YouTube pod thumbnails? I've been spoiled because of that if I even wait just a couple days to watch the episode. My take with spoilers, it's tough because I like to, for example, I like to be courteous and not discuss the Traitors UK here, because I know a lot of you may not have watched it. You're trying to catch up, and like it's only been a day, so like I try and do my part. But I think that it's tough to ask a network to not put content out that can gather the most people who are engaging with that content, if that makes sense. Like, in order for, like, for example, if and I think RHAP does a great job with it, because to my knowledge, they don't have thumbnails for like the first, 24 hours or a little more. I'm not sure exactly. But all I know is when the podcast first goes live, it doesn't have a thumbnail attached to it. But I think that ultimately it's on us as the consumers to avoid spoilers. Like if I got spoiled, I had to avoid socials for like 2 days to watch Squid Game. If I'd gone spoiled on Squid Game, I would have been devastated, but it would have been on me, ultimately. I think I think social media, I have more of an issue when people don't hashtag, because you can mute the hashtag, that's your homework, right? But I think it's tough with asking like other podcasts or YouTubers to like not use the thumbnails, because they're trying to engage with the people who are looking to immediately consume that content. So it's tough because as a viewer and as an audience member, I agree that it's frustrating when you are trying to avoid it and you get spoiled on a boot. That happened to me with Australian Survivor last year with one, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not interacting with any Australian Survivor content on YouTube unless I'm on an incognito tab, because it kept starting to come into my suggesteds and recommendeds and shit, and I would see thumbnails and it would spoil things for me. So I started incognito tabbing them. But at the same time, it's like there's only so much you can do and you could still get spoiled, which is very frustrating. So it's tough. It's tough. Like I understand it from a like content creator POV, because you're trying to get, you know, the engagement and get the people, bring new people in who are actively searching the next day, interview with person who went out last night kind of thing. And at the same time, you also want to respect your current base who doesn't have the time to watch it immediately. But I think the reality is the world at this point caters to people who are there to consume it now, not to consume it later. And it's sad, but it's also the way the world is for, I think, everything now, right? Which is the outlook on future is a lot less than outlook on now. And I want to use this show as an example without getting into the spoilers on the show, because I know some of you may not have watched it yet or would want to watch it later. But Pluribus is a show made by Vince Gilligan, the showrunner for, that's right, Breaking Bad. And it was a slow burn, right? Slow burn, slow build up. The amount of people I've seen complain that it's too slow, that it's got nothing, that it's boring. And I'm like, it's a slow build. It's supposed to pay off eventually, but we're so ingrained in now. And that's the same thing with consumer trends. That's why like I mean, these things are very fascinating to talk about. But I think that, I guess ultimately to sum it up, I find it frustrating also, and I can find it frustrating, especially when I can't watch it right away, but I know it's on me to try and avoid it. And if I try and avoid it and still see it, I will get frustrated. But it's like I get it simply because, and I think a lot of it I get it because I'm a content creator myself. So it's like I understand wanting to talk about a thing before it's outdated. The amount of games I've not played on stream because I'm like, well, it's already past the hype. Like it's like been 3 weeks, no one cares. So stuff like that, it's a little bit tough. So yeah. But yeah, I get it. How did you know who from 49 would be on 50? Because it was the worst kept secret of all time. I knew because Redmond broke the news. Like those, like it was very public information very quickly. Well, not it wasn't like official because like the like Jeff Probst didn't officially tell us, but how to get hired as a podcaster. I applied for, there was a game show called So You Think You Podcast. It was a competition for who was going to be the next Big Brother podcaster that I applied for. And I showed up. I lost, but I stuck around. How often does a draft team get eliminated right away? Only happened once, and that was Big Brother Canada, the last season, where I had the first 4 boosts of the season. If I don't want to be spoiled, I just avoid where I would find them. I feel like it's on me if I see a spoiler online. Totally different. Someone spoils it randomly in text or IRL combo. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing with hashtags and also live tweeting. Like, if people are like, man, this person spoiled it for me. If they had hashtags, it's on you. If they didn't have hashtags, absolutely be mad at them because, like, come on, etiquette, you know? But you can't be mad at people for live tweeting and posting the show. And like it's even harder with like Traitors UK because if I watch it right when it drops and I tweet about it, there's gonna be people upset at me for not like for doing spoilers essentially. But like, is it a spoiler if it's live tweeting at that point? I don't know. I don't think so. It's sometimes hard to avoid spoilers. I think it's very often hard to avoid spoilers. Not easy. I think by the time reality stars appear on Traitors, they know not to spoil anything online. Yes, they're good at not leaking. I feel like RGB does a good job as you can do realities. You got to be watching pretty much live if you want to be scrolling. I mean, I can't do TikTok anymore until I've caught up with shows that are currently happening if it's in my algorithm because I will see stuff I don't want to see. I nearly got spoiled on stuff from Traitors UK before I watched it today. I feel like you have the pod graphic with the silhouette instead of the actual player pick. And that people who are gonna watch it will watch it regardless of the graphic. I think that the thing is, you got to think back to the casual audience on this one, because I think the casual audience are not going to look up, 8th person voted out. They're gonna be like Steven Survivor 49 exit interview or Steven 49 interview, and that's how they're gonna want to find it. And it's tough when they're already not putting it in the description so that people can't see it. In the description, they're avoiding putting it in the tag so that even though it's good for SEO, they're trying to like not have people see the tags. All they can do is have a thumbnail ready for after 24 hours to switch it to that person. But again, it depends on the people because I don't know specifically for RHAP, Leslie. To my knowledge, I think they don't put it immediately. But you might be talking about another network, so I might be talking completely off about someone else. Are we doing marbles tonight? I doubt we're going to be doing marbles tonight, Melissa. But I can commit to marbles next week. We can make sure that happens next week. Also, I'm realizing I have questions to answer still. So let me catch up with you here first. Honestly, missing the hype waves with stream games a positive in my book. You get a better sense later if there's something actually greater. There's Twitch's flavor of the month. That's very fair. They should make up fake spoilers. Wow. For Survivor, we wait until Friday AM to change it over. Yeah, well, to Leslie's point, Leslie's mentioning that, like, I can't not watch it for a couple of days. And I think that's just the reality with the world now. It really feels like if you don't watch it immediately, it's done out. Like, you're going to find out what's going to happen. And it just also depends on the level of online you are, where if you're me, it's very, which means that I am highly likely to get spoiled on stuff. It's tough. My New Year's was good. I spent it with y'all. So you already know how I spent the New Year's. And then I recorded the PAL yesterday. Do you guys recap the episodes the day or two later? Traitors the same night. The recaps happen, and then I'll be doing feedback shows probably Mondays. That's the plan. Give people the weekend to catch up. Do you think the Traitors casting, shall we say, controversial people is going to have any effect on its viewership, either good or bad? No, I think it's going to keep it the same. I think there's going to be some people that are going to potentially boycott. That's always a possibility. But then I don't think there's going to be people that are like, oh my God, you put this person on, I'm definitely watching now. That's not a thing. So I don't think it's going to change it in any way, but also it depends on the level of controversial person. Because as controversial as Michael Rappaport is, I think a lot of people are unaware of that with him. But like, there's people that you put their name on there, and everyone's going to know they're controversial without knowing anything else about them. So, got any of those New Year's Eve goals on the list finished up yet? It's been 2 days. No, I have not. So I hear you say that there's no Goose Goose this week. No. There's Goose Goose this week. There's Goose Goose this week. So no worries. We got that. Also, Sam, were you in or out for Goose Goose this week? I know you were in last week, but then it got canceled. When do you get the banished or murder people? Friday, it would be the interview. If that, it'll be Friday. If they can't do Friday, it might be like a Monday. But more often than not, it's going to be a Friday for the interviews. But yeah, Leslie, I hope that answered your question. I'm not sure if I answered it to the best of my ability, but let me know. I was the job question from earlier. Thanks for everyone for the insight. This is my first time dealing with a potential promotion. Should be noted, I'm pretty tight with my boss and another coworker at the same position, so my name is going to be thrown around by multiple people. I think I'm going to wait till my coworker goes public with his resignation and then talk to my boss if I'm not approached first. Hey, as long as you approach, I think you're in a good spot. All right, Sam's in. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, good luck. I hope you get the promotion. I really do. And I hope the method worked out. Feel free to let us know with an update if we get an update later. Is Kevin Jacobs going to be your co-host for the Traitors US coverage? I will not be telling you who's going to be my co-host. So you can keep asking or guessing. I will not give you a yes or a no. Is it the ideal strat for a faithful to pretend to be on the wrong path so they don't get murdered at night and befriend the actual suspected traitors? It's a slippery slope, that route. I think it's not a bad route for you to get far. I think the flaw in that plan can get you safety from murders. That plan does not guarantee that people will assume you're a traitor and push you out, so that's not good. The other part, and the bigger flaw with this plan, is if you do your job to perfection and you figure out the traitors and you start banishing them and get them voted out at the right times, you still are in a position where you can get to the final fire of truth, and you're there with people who are like, you know what? The thing with David is, I thought he was a traitor this whole time. Even though he's kind of proven to be not a traitor, there's still this 1% chance in me that thinks he is a traitor. So I'm going to banish him just to be safe, and then you're fucked. So I think the reality is that's not the best move for a winning game. That's a move for a potential longer game and an entertaining game, but not a winning game. I think that you can look at a game, like if you're looking for a good, faithful game, you have to study Dylan Efron, who was able to befriend the traitors, whether on purpose or accidental. He befriended all the traitors, and then he was also seen as a faithful. So he didn't get murdered, and no one was going to vote him out. That's the best path. Yeah, no, there is Goose Goose on Sunday, that's for sure. Are there any new reality shows that are coming this year that you want to cover? I would love to see what that Clue show is all about, and I would love to be a part of the coverage if there was an opportunity to do so. Because, again, Clue, who done it, with which weapon, in which room, that is my bread and butter all day. I would love that detective game. Let's make that happen. Do you think the Traitors cast takes into consideration what makes do you think that the Traitors cast takes into consideration who makes good TV or has big audience when they banish or murder people? No, the cast, I do not think thinks twice about that shit. Like, oh, I make good TV, so keep me in, is a wild notion. I think everyone is there for themselves. Everyone's there to have fun. I think one or two people every now and then will be like, oh, I thought this would be brilliant TV, so I didn't want to get rid of them. Potentially. But I don't think it ends up being mattering that much. Remember, these are all ego-heavy players from very big shows who are there for their spotlight. They're not here to give someone else the spotlight. They're not a producer. I think what happens also is that even someone like me who is a big fan of these shows, who would be there and be like, I recognize that like Lord Ivar is going to give me nothing and Dorinda's going to be fun. I'm like, but who am I threatened by? Dorinda, she got to go. Lord Ivar ain't gonna do shit. So like, it's not optimal for entertainment, but that's something I'll do. Rob claimed in the finale pod we did last year that if he was ever on the show, he would target all the boring people and keep all the entertaining people. We're about to see if he's about that life or not. So I feel like some of the cast of this season of Traitors are out of nowhere. Like who? Like more so than others? You'd have great outfits? I would not. I appreciate it though. It's been amazing racing the international shows that get spoiled because it's hard to keep up with them when they drop and watch the show before the pop post. I agree with that for Leslie, especially for like Australian Survivor or like UK shows. I get it, which is why we use custom placeholder photos for that. I don't know what we've been doing for the Traitors exits. I'm not sure. Eric Nom, I'm very happy with that though. Eric Nom's gonna be has been a great pick in my opinion. Who done it? You say the minute I said that word, Archie fan, I knew you were typing. I knew that was coming. I knew that was going to be the case. So we need to see who Rob targets to know who he considered boring. Maybe that's something I'll ask him in his interview. Inevitably. This is from Renap. Order these. Would you rather skydive, get a tattoo voted on by the Less Than Two crew, or get a pet snake? So I'm ranking skydive, tattoo by the Less Than Two crew, and a pet snake. Pet snake is last. I think. Chat, let's do a fun exercise, right? Right now, I want you to answer as earnestly as possible. If I said, chat, I'm going to get a tattoo selected by you, earnestly, what would your earnest answer be? So I said earnest and honest a couple times now, meaning whatever you write, even if it's the troll, I'm assuming you're saying genuinely that's what you would want me to tattoo on me. So tell me what you would do and I'll give you my answer. Being Scottish hoodies. No, if I was on the Traitors, I would have to dress appropriately. I would not want to do hoodies. Maybe Rob will deny an exit interview. I will go to his front door. A beanie with a Less Than Two, or a rubber duck, goose duck, but like a sick one with a microphone or something. Okay, a classic short quote from a show. RHAP logo. Less Than Two. See, the Less Than Two for me, I think makes sense. It's something I've built. It's a career I've made. I do love Mandy's idea of like expanding it with a beanie or like a hat or something. The thing is, so skydiving would be a huge feat. I genuinely am terrified at the notion that my heart can't handle it and I'll pass out in the sky. Now, granted, you're there with somebody, so like they'll bring you to safety. But like, what if my heart can't handle it and something goes wrong? I would hate that. So skydive second, tattoo first, I think. You never saw you finish up the advent calendar? I did do that on, Was it on the New Year's Eve stream, chat, that we finished it? Or was it before that? How hard was it to find the new co-host to replace Rob C? The good news about me being in the position I'm in and with the access I have is that it was hard, not because it was hard to find someone, it was hard to pick someone. There's a lot of good options. So that was the difficulty. It was before, it was last week's pad. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a TikTok trend where you call someone and just tell them to shut up. I have seen this. You should do this to Dwight. It would be funny. Well, it's too late now because we've already called Dwight. So maybe next week we'll call him or somebody else and do it. Just remind me. I've only seen Traitors US and Canada, and I was root for Traitors, and I'm always disappointed when they lose. Are there any seasons where it feels more like a faithful win rather than a Traitor loss? I like the winners of Canada 3, but still felt like a blank loss to me. Okay. So how many times is it more a faithful win rather than a Traitor loss? The reality is, because the Traitors have all of the information, it's so easy to just see it as them fumbling it versus the faithful winning it, because the faithful inherently have less information and come in more blind, right? But I would say that the biggest example of a faithful win rather than a Traitor loss is, because even, for example, even US 3, I was about to say US 3 because like Gabby, Dylan played amazing faithful games. But then I think you can pinpoint of like, oh, well, that tied vote, if Brittany Brittany pushed the dead vote and then maybe that thing went their way, that would have been better than Brittany just, didn't vote that way and they lost. I think you can look at season 2. I think season 2 was hands down the faithful cooked the Traitor shit. But I think then you would look at it and be like, well, did they, or did Dan cost Phaedra the game by giving Phaedra's information up and like blowing his game up, blowing Parvati's game up? Then maybe that's an argument you could make also. So see, it could go either way, even though that was a very strong Faithful game, Faithful win. I think that many Faithful games, you can easily look at it like that and see it as a, well, the Traitors fumbled it, because the Traitors always have more. It's like the winning percentage of a Traitor coming into the game is 80% versus the 20% for the Faithful. So the Faithful are always going to look like they won because the Faithfuls lost, not so much that they won because they killed it. It's a lot harder to look at it that way. But I think US2, US3 are both very strong Faithful games. I think that I think Canada 3 is also a very strong Faithful one. So yeah. I think it's just tough to look at it as a game where like, oh, the Faithful won and the Traitors, got defeated versus the Traitors cost themselves the win. Traitors premieres January 8th in 6 days. Is there a lot of RGB content that's not on YouTube / off camera? I only listen to YouTube, but I have FOMO. What do you mean by content that's off camera? You mean like audio only? Yes. There is a few, but mainly for me, I can tell you that my 90-day podcast is all audio only and has been audio only and will stay audio only, because I don't think there's a big enough listenership for it that I would want to separate the fans. I want to keep everyone in one spot, That would be the only one. And I think Traitors UK we will be doing video for this year. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna ask about that while I remember. All right. How hard is it to create content? It depends on the person and it depends on the type of content, because I would say that I've gotten very comfortable with making this content, right? I'm comfortable talking to you for what is about to be 3 hours without stop, continuously moving on. Some people can't do that. Some people can play games and chat, but like, more game. Some people find podcasting to be very jarring. Some people can podcast limitedly, like a Mike Bloom. I think then you look at some people who do like IRL streaming. I could never do IRL streaming. I'd be very uncomfortable. So that wouldn't be for me. I would love to get better at making short form content. Like if I could make TikToks and YouTube shorts, I would love to be in a position to do those. But it's not my strong suit. So I think it depends on the type of content and the type of person. I think that the blanket easy thing to look at is be like, content creation is very easy to do, which I think gets that way when you start seeing some of these bigger streamers making like millions of dollars and you're like, how are they making millions off of this? But I think a lot goes into it. It can be very tough, but it depends on the person. I can't listen to audio podcasts. I don't know why. I just can't get into them. I need to see someone talking. Is that weird? I don't think it's weird, Tom, sir, especially if you didn't get introduced to podcasts as an audio thing first. I can understand that. I think it takes some getting used to the idea of like, I have headphones in, and I'm walking, but I'm not listening to music. I'm listening to someone speaking. I think can be weird for some people. But for me, it has been very easy from the jump because I started audio only for many years before I even started watching video. So... you and Taryn have this brother friendship? I would say so. Sometimes sibling rivalry, sometimes banter. I feel like you're very routine with your content. I've gotten to be that way, Kelly, and it's actually the only part of me that has a routine is my streaming. The Friday stream, the Sunday stream keep me grounded, keep me a little organized there, and then we'll add some stuff here and there. For the most part, depending on the podcast, they can be very like routine as well. But I know the importance of having a schedule, because I think not having a schedule for content makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability will not have you, or your audience isn't going to want unpredictability, because they want to be around with you. They want to know, okay, on Fridays we do this and on Sundays we do that. You know what I mean? So Would you do a 24-hour marathon? I've done two. I've done two so far. Short form seems so hard, but I could see you doing some great 5-minute trader bits. Mandy, if you can think of any ideas this year, let's try it. Let's try and do something. Let me dabble. Let me give it a try. Maybe I do some TikToks. Who knows? They don't have to be skits either. They could just be me, a talking head. Who knows? Wow, Tomster called me old. Listen, Tomster, not like just because you're still breastfeeding doesn't mean the rest of us need to be on the same page, you know? Relax. Relax. Take your sippy cup and chill out for a little bit. How about that? Got him. Is it easier doing audio or video podcast more? 100% audio is easier. Audio, I can sit however I want. I don't have to think about how I'm looking. I think that's something that I didn't recognize how tough it was until I started doing this, is how much goes into being not even camera ready, but just being present like this. Like, for example, if I'm doing a video podcast and we're talking about, let's say, we're talking about like, okay, let's do an example. We're talking about Rob Cesternino. It's a Traitors podcast. And like, if it's audio only, I can be like, oh yeah, let me quietly look up what Rob does on like, you know, Rob Cesternino book. Oh, he wrote a book. What did he write a book about? I can start looking at shit like that. I can like, you know, do this. However, when I'm on video, you're trying to be as present as possible. You're trying to not look distracted. You're trying to not look bored. And I'm not saying you look bored or you are bored. You might look bored. So you know you have to like look invested, because if you are not giving that energy, other people have no reason to give that energy also. I've gotten very good at, you know, gathering information on a tab, preparing it for my next point, and staying in it. But it took years of practice to do that. TikTok, a 5-minute download of each ep. Ooh, that'd be fun. I'll help you with TikTok if you need. I appreciate that, Kellyanne. You don't look old. Thank you, Weedy. I am 33 going on 34 in about a month and a half. So not nervous at all. It's cool. Content is good. Just don't go to daycares and be a tool. Dear God. Yeah, lamb diggity dang dog. No kidding. That's crazy. Well, Tomster, hey, don't mess with the bull. What is that saying? I don't even know the saying. If you mess with the bull, you get the horn, something like that. Honestly, even if just first reacts, I think would be great. I think let's try it after each app on your trader stream. If it's 1 minute or less, we can clip it and ship it for TikTok. Yes, I think that's a good idea, Mandy. I think that's a good idea. Would I write a book like Rob C. or Taryn did? Honestly, I have the knowledge bank. I might need a ghostwriter. Is that wrong to say? Like, because I don't think I have the patience or the capability to sit down and write 400 pages. I would struggle heavily with that. I would like to think that a lot of this trader information I have is usable in some capacity. I don't know the first way of how to make it happen. So we level up like Pokemon. Damn right, Jill. Damn right. You tell them. Hell yeah. Make that 12 years younger. Look at you, Tomster. And hey, Tomster, as a 21/22-year-old viewer, am I good content or no? Oh, 21-year-old. Yeah. Am I good content? Is it on 10 years to write this book? Yeah. See, I couldn't do that. A short form idea, maybe an MVP award for each episode of the Traitors, kind of like the fishy. I like that. I think so. I need to, you know what I need to invest in, Chad? I need to buy a good cloak. That's what I need. You love it? Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Will there be a Traitors draft? No. Stranger Things final season thoughts? I've never watched Stranger Things. Never. I've not watched a single episode of Stranger Things. It never caught my attention at all. So I just never got into it. Do I pick MVPs for each episode like some YouTube channels do? No, but I could for my own short form. Do's and don'ts for the Traitors would be fun. That would be very fun. I would enjoy that quite a bit. I think it would be fun for people to find out about your life too that aren't less than two. I really enjoy Taryn's book and his stories about growing up. Yeah. You mean for like a book, or you mean like for short form content? The Aura says lamb diggity dang dog. Hell yeah. For what reason this time? No Stranger Things is crazy. Yeah, I never got into it. It never appealed to me. A red trader cloak, perhaps? I mean, listen, I don't discriminate. The UK Trader sells official capes. They do, I think. Now that it's been a month-ish, or like what, 2 to 3 weeks since the 49 finale, where does it rank in your new era rankings overall? Personally, my top 5 new era / top 20 season. Interesting. Of the new era seasons, let's see. This is not a solidified, definitive ranking. This is off the dome without putting more thought into it, okay? It goes as follows. 47 and 45 are in the first 2. Maybe switch one this way, one that way. I actually enjoyed, there were parts of, I think some people really didn't like 49, and I think I'm not one of those people. I enjoyed it to certain degrees. I think knowing 2 people were going to be on 50 really ruined the season for me. And for most people, I think put a damper on it. But I still genuinely think it's a top 5 season of the new era. I think 42 is a great new era season as well. I personally liked 44. I know for some people they did not like it at all. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I need to rewatch 43 and 41, you know, because I feel like they were better than I remember them probably. 48 had a very fun pre-jury and a pretty bland and boring post-jury for me. Post-merge, sorry. And 46 was also legendary. I think 46 is one of the ones that some people don't like, but I feel like was goofy as fuck and very fun. So. How often do I play video games? About daily at this point. Maybe do a deception on the background on the lapel. Ooh. My self-proclaimed Duke of Deception. You respond to many of the questions people asked during the pad that would make good short-form content videos. Thank you, Kellyanne. It really comes down to a couple things. First, length. Second, did I answer it with enough precision? And then third, editing. Which I think editing is probably my biggest problem, is I need to do better with that. That was what will get us there. The stream is so fun, I hope it never ends. I hate having to wait a whole week for the pad, but I wish I didn't have ads. Hey, if you subscribe using your Prime sub, and it looks like, based on the little logo next to him, you have a Prime sub available, Jez. So as long as you use that Prime sub, you're all set, man. You're all set. But either way, as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. How do I rank the new era seasons of Big Brother? Oof. Define new era. Post 22? Shit. Okay. Damn, that's tough. You know what's maybe wacky to say? I think that every single season of the new era of Big Brother has been enjoyable to a degree. I personally really enjoyed 23. 24, my God, the ending really saves it, but also the first couple of weeks are truly you know how there's that meme where there's a drawing of a horse and like half of it is like majestic, the other half is dog. This is like the inverse of that, where the first couple of weeks were like the dog part of the drawing, and then it gets majestic, and then the winner, and then it's amazing. So parts of that I enjoyed, parts of that I did not like. So a bit of a middle there. 25, 100 days, fuck that, way too long. We lost a couple of great people early, which I didn't love. It basically became a comp run season, which I hated, but it had Suri Fields on it playing Big Brother. It had Izzy on it. It had America on it. It had Felicia on it. So the casting, there was like some bangers and then some turd. And so like, again, good with the bad there, probably middle overall, but like there were some very amazing feed moments that you can really not ever forget. Corey also, when I said America, I feel like you should understand that America Corey was one there. Hope that if it wasn't made clear, Corey, shout out to you. But yeah, so for me, there was some really fun moments there and then some really like meh moments, but usually by by end game it can get there, so it's fine. 26 had a very fun early game and a very meh end game, in my humble opinion. That is how it felt. And then 27, which was the latest one, I think was just a very entertaining season, practically top to bottom, with one very, very, very fucked week in the form of the white locust twist. But Riley getting evicted on a Rachel HOH, Mickey stealing Riley's HOH, which was such an amazing night, and it's such a terrifying next day, but such an amazing night in that spot. So yeah. No, 27 I think might be number one, low key. So I don't know, maybe. Jimmy with the gift of sub to Jess. Appreciate you, Jimmy. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Jess, welcome into the club. In general, I feel like the fan base is too hard on Survivor, despite there obviously being room for criticism. I think it's just because being high on nostalgia is one thing, and I definitely think we suffer from that as a world for sure. But I think there's also some validity to just it being monotonous and repetitive. I think some of the best casts of the show have been in the new era. Some of the best people that we've seen come from the new era. However, when every season is just a number and it's still Fiji and it's 3 tribes of 6 and it's the same twists and it's the same tools and trinkets, then I can't blame people when they're like, I don't remember which person is on what season or what season this happened in. I don't think, I get that. I understand that at that point. I started on the short form about the consistency. I was thinking about this during New Year's Eve, reminiscing. I've watched the pad at least 3 states on vacation, in work trips, always a staple, and it's such a comfort. Thank you for that. And thank you for doing the NYE stream and these last calls. Mandy, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I'm happy, Mandy. I'm happy. And I've done the pad from various locations as well. Not as many, mind you, because there have been vacations where I've not done the pad, but then also when I was in Canada, that was the famous dressed like grandpa stream, I'm pretty sure. 26, 27, 23, 25, 24 is mine. 24. What happened in 26 that I'm forgetting that it's so low for me? But you have, launch room, you have 27 low. The matching panties, we're gonna have to ask Mark Ballas about those. You don't like Taylor, that dampens the season for me? That's fair. If you're if you're in on Taylor, that's a good season for you. So, especially if it is the first new era Big Brother to get cast on Traitors. That doesn't surprise me. Who would be your pick, Weedy? First half of 25 was GOAT level. The second half was paint drying. Exactly. That's why it was super middle for me. Xavier, Big D would be cast. Oh, there's no way Big D would have been cast over Tiffany ever. And Xavier already got his shot on the Anonymous, I feel like. Minus Hamster, Wheel of Doom, BB27 would be a top season. Agreed. I need another amazing race with Izzy and Paige, Joseph and Adam, and Drizzy, Zach and Corey. What could have been? You remove Enzo and his brother and put Zach and Corey. What do we have, Do I think Gordon Ramsay would do Traitors? I don't think so, but that could be a fun addition. Is Liana back for the Drag Race podcast this season? I know she took a break due to a new job last year. I believe she will be there. She'll be there for the premiere. Is it hard to do this when you are on vacation? It depends on the vacation length. It depends on where I'm staying, if I have stable internet or not, and a stable place to stream from. But also, in the last 5 years that I've streamed, I would say I've taken a vacation. What, maybe once? Like, I've never really taken a hiatus from making content while I've been gone. Let's think about the last couple of trips I've done. I guess maybe the last New York RHAP trip, I didn't do any content. But no, that's not true. I did edit the PAL while I was gone, while I was in New York. So I did that. When I was in Phoenix, I did the Sam Asghari exit interview there. I did a 90-day podcast with Mary. I did a stream from there. So I've done stuff there. When I went to Canada, I did content there. So I've never taken a full break and hiatus from streaming ever since I've started. And I don't want to. Like, I feel like even when I'm traveling, I don't mind doing content if I can, at least a little bit. Because I don't like being too away from this. Again, like, remember, for me, this also helps me ground me and keep me on routine as well. Grandpa Pooya Pat always in our hearts. Yup. Probably the worst part of 26 is Chelsea and MJ trading off almost all the comps in the back half. Exactly. And the similar feeling with 25, I felt like. With Jag, Matt, Jag, Matt, Bowie Jane. A cloak-inspired hoodie. What? What is this? Is this real? Nah, I'm gonna have to cop. I didn't realize they did $75. Bro, what? $75? But I'd get 20% off. How much is that? $15 off? Then it's what? $60? That's not bad. That's not bad, right? Now, do you think Liana would understand if I bought this, chat, or would she be mad at me? Do you think she'd be mad at me if I did this? Notification, but you had to move. Oh, that's a great call, Athelia. That might have been the bigger hiatus. Because how long was it? No, the thing is also, I didn't stream that weekend because we were driving and moving. But then right on Monday or Tuesday, I did 2 podcasts. I did a 90-day pod, and I did one more pod, and then Liana did the pal anyway. Matt won only 1 HOH. I did not even recall that. Oh, thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you so much. Work expense. That's it. Get her 1 too. When you are streaming, do you go nuts like most streamers feel when they don't stream for a while? I don't. I start thinking of things I want to do with streaming. Like, I feel like sometimes when I'm away for too long, I'm like, okay, but what's the return plan? Like, is there a fun stream we can do when we come back? Stuff like that. So it's like, that's kind of where I end up being with it. You save money on the matching Costco hoodies. Now you can get pricier matching cloak hoodies. Liana will be mad at me if I bought her a hoodie, I think. Is there any other items in their merch store that could be fun for Liana? What is the Traitors Roundtable Sherpa blanket that's $50? Oh, the Traitors logo hoodie is $47. Oh, you know what? I just realized once I put in my shipping address, it's probably going to fucking cost a bunch to, like, that coupon probably gave me shipping free. It's still going to be $75. Let's see. Shipping would cost $10. So now it's $70 if I want to get it, chat. What do you think? $70? Do we cop? I mean, the only thing that makes it Traitors-ish is the hood kind of like a cloak. Is that what it is? It doesn't look cloakish enough. It just looks like a green hoodie with the little logo on it. Chat, I don't think I should do this. This feels like a mistake. What is a Trader scented candle? Oh, this mug is too small. Otherwise, I would have copped the mug. Ooh, the Traitors coasters look fun. Anyway, I think I'm going to skip on it, chat. If I see someone wear it and I like it, I might cop. But for now, it's fine. That's fair, Parky. No worries. I understand that. 26 was just so boring strategy. I said at Chelsea, I'm not a fan of, and I'm not a fan of her. That's very fair. About Hannah on the Traitors, with the way she played Mafia, she would do ground Traitors. 100%. I'm doing dry January. Will you join me? I have never drank alcohol, so I've had a dry life in that regard. Oh, there you go. Well, so you're doing dry January then. Yeah, I mean, the last time I drank was in New York. It was actually it was at the Matt and Jofo wedding. Last time I drank. You save money on the matching Costco hoodies. Now you can get priced your matching cloak. No, I'm telling you, she wouldn't want that. You would get enough use from a cloak to make it worth it, but it's a hoodie. It's just a hoodie. Ugh, I would want it though. The Trader shop, the UK shop has a Trader's cloak that I can pre-order. But like that would come from the UK. You know how much that's gonna cost though? But like the Traders UK have like hella merch. They've got like the Traders chalkboard. They have a cloak hoodie as well. They have a wax sealer, letter sealer thing. That's the cloak I got. When did you get a cloak, Sam? Ask your friends at Peacock Twitter for it. They're not my friends. The candle smells like a trader. I don't know what the candle is. Yeah. Maybe just get Leon another bowling pin. Honestly, she would love that, Melissa. If I surprise her with that for her birthday, maybe that's what I should get her for her birthday. Get the Duchess of Deception candle for Liana. Do you think then she'd accuse me of thinking she's a liar and then that will go sideways? Maybe. I don't know. Do you prefer old school or new school Survivor seasons? I've been watching a lot of older seasons and I love all the different location and variety of comps. I think that the appeal of the old seasons is the cast size can be different. The tribe dynamics are different because there's bigger tribes. There can be more swaps. There are more swaps. There are different locations. There are different themes. There's so that stuff is missing. I think some of the older cast, I look at some of the players, I'm like, who? You are bland as fuck. But then there was still obviously a lot of great legends that have come out of that. So I think it's that. I think that I do miss. I really do miss that. But like, for example, I don't think 26 days, I don't think 39 versus 26 matters to me personally. But I think themes, tribe sizes, predictability, location, I think these things matter to me. For Survivor season, I think it's Cambodia still. There's a bunch in like that little cluster that I really liked. San Juan del Sur, Cambodia. I think Philippines also for me is one of mine. And obviously I say all this, heroes versus villains is number one, but like I have other picks also. What is the best platform to watch / listen to RHAP on in terms of supporting the network? That's a great question, actually. I think that I think it's on the pod feeds. Like, for example, if you were like, hey, what's the best way to support the Pooya and Liana Lounge? I would say listening to the pod on the Pooya and Liana Lounge feed specifically, not the, like, there is the general feed, but then our feed specifically. But then I think for growth, it's YouTube. So for growth, YouTube is the one because the bigger the YouTube gets, the more people find it and so on. Then they find the feeds and so on. So how come the start of a new Big Brother season always takes a long time? What do you mean it takes a long time? Because I would argue that the Big Brother season starts, that's when it's most like happening. The end of a Big Brother season can take forever. Unless you got Vorgan to provide you content. And you've got Morgan gaming it all the way through. Didn't you and Liana record a pal during draft in Minnesota? Was that ever released anywhere? That's still on this phone. That's still on this phone, chat. I think. Yeah, I think it's this one.
Hello, everybody, and what it's passable will do it. I'm not alone, of course, as y'all know. It takes two to car ride in this marriage and in this move.
I think
So
at
I'm
this point, this needs to get released on the anniversary of our move to Minnesota.
joined here by my I was about to say other half, but my partner in crime.
Better half.
No, just the other half.
How do you know it's going through like my microphone? Because I don't. It's like stuck to my neck.
Because I'm not. No, because when you're talking, there's the same wavelengths as when I'm talking, and they're omnidirectional, so you don't need to worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Should I tilt my head down? Or
No,
should I
you are
just
driving. You are supposed to act natural. The minute you do the most for this, I'm pulling the plug. You're not.
I was so stressed about this too. I was like, please don't lose focus on the drive because Leona drove the whole way. So, yeah, sometime that might get released in the future. We'll see. All right, chat. Another fun stream. I'll be honest, chat. Let me keep it a stack with you. I genuinely didn't know how long tonight was going to be because I was like, we just spoke a night and a half ago, basically. Like New Year's Eve, we were here for like 3 hours. The fact that this has gone 3 hours has been amazing. How often does Rob have the podcast find new podcasters? The last time was 5 years ago. So not often. What would the anniversary date be? So according to the recording, Athelia, it is April 26th, 1 p.m. is when that happened. So, wow, we're nearing a year here. That's kind of, well, I guess not a year. April 26th is about May. So still a ways to go. Actually, what's funny is I'm going to be in Toronto during that time for the RHAP event. So, yeah. All right, chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for hanging out tonight. I hope you had fun. I'll be back on Sunday with Goose Goose. We're going to keep that going. So make sure you pull up first Goose Goose of the year. We will have a good time for sure. Okay. Appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who subbed today. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the new followers. First time chatters, hope you had a good time. VOD viewers, hope this was a good time for you as well. If you were doing task running chores while watching this, or listening to this rather, hope I wasn't too loud in your ears and hope the vibe was immaculate. Question askers, I hope I answered your question to the best of my abilities. And chatters, thank you for keeping me speaking the whole way through, keeping me entertained. And thank you for everyone who submitted questions. I do appreciate it. I am going to run because my throat is starting to get a little sore and I need